held by ICE.
Oh, some rain likely. It's likely wet where you are right now. Some pockets of dry spots. It could be wet for everybody a little bit later on this evening. Storms are likely tonight. Some could be severe this evening. High of 60 degrees, blustery conditions with wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Storms should end later tonight at a low of 49. 49 and rain in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, another street takeover is under investigation in Milwaukee, this time in the Bayview neighborhood.
A large gathering of people and cars converged near Kinnickinnick and Lincoln in the early morning hours Sunday. Alderwoman Marina Dmitrievich says it lasted about 30 minutes, and the group dispersed as soon as officers arrived. Police confirm there were fireworks set off, but they found no evidence of gunfire. The Milwaukee Fire Department is also investigating the takeover to see if there is any connection to a house fire nearby. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Community members and a Wisconsin lawmaker continue to advocate for a Milwaukee religious leader being held right now by federal immigration officials.
Congresswoman Gwen Moore traveled to an ICE detention facility in Indiana to check on Saleh Sarsour, the president of the Islamic Society of Milwaukee, who was detained last month.
We had a lot of questions about his well-being, about his diet, about his medication and his health care.
Sarsour is a legal U.S. citizen who has lived in the Milwaukee area for 30 years, but federal officials say Sarsour is being held over allegations tied to immigration paperwork and suspected connections to overseas activity. Sarsour has an immigration hearing today. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
A plane heading to Orlando makes an unexpected stop in Milwaukee after a possible in-flight issue.
Officials say a Delta flight from Minneapolis was diverted to Mitchell International Airport Sunday night after a smoky odor was detected in the cabin. There were over 100 passengers and 6 crew members on board. No one was hurt as the plane landed safely and was met by emergency crews at the gate. Passengers were able to deplane normally. Officials are investigating the cause of the odor. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Ceasefire negotiations between the U.S. and Iran appear to have stalled. President Trump says there are no plans to send a delegation to negotiate as Israel restarts strikes against Hezbollah. News Nation's Robert Sherman.
The Israelis saying that they started carrying out strikes again on southern Lebanon, hitting Hezbollah positions. But say that this has been happening throughout the weekend, in which you have seen rockets and drones being fired by Hezbollah at northern Israel. And then as a result, you've seen airstrikes being carried out by the Israelis as well. So these flare-ups are happening, despite the fact we had that ceasefire extended by 3 weeks.
The president of Lebanon says the strikes violate their ceasefire deal with Israel, which expires today.
And Britain's King Charles and Queen Camilla are arriving in the United States for their first state visit since Charles was crowned 3 years ago.
I'm Vicky Barker in London. A small group of demonstrators wearing Trump and King Charles masks stood outside Buckingham Palace protesting the state visit.
We should not be sending the king to wine and dine at a state banquet with Donald Trump when he is driving a cost of living crisis as a result of his war in Iran.
A new YouGov poll finds only 30% of Brits think the king's visit will actually improve U.S.-UK relations. More than half think it won't make much difference at all. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Not a lot of movement today. The Dow is off about 65 points at 49,165. NASDAQ down about 10 at 24,825. And the S&P is barely in the green. Call it a 1.5 at 7166. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
6 selections. So who are these guys? Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:04.
Why do we have so many successful long-term clients that started out with less than half of what they now invest in advertising? How are we able to keep our clients on the air 52 weeks a year with great weekly repetition, in some cases for over 15 years straight? Well, it's because our volume gets us access to rates that business owners can't get on their own. It's because repetition works, our buying style is efficient, and our messages sell. Go to Anderson-Smith.com because we help small business advertisers get better results. The arena we work in is where the rubber meets the road. If we don't get results, we're gone. Because with small business advertisers, any ad dollar spent counts. How many agencies can say they've kept small, locally owned businesses advertising 52 weeks a year for over a decade straight? How many have made shoestring budgets grow by over 1,000%? We can, because we get results. Go to Anderson-Smith.com, hit the Contact Us button, email me, and I'll call you in short order. Because it's time we grew your business.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Give me an extra large deep dish with sausage and green peppers.
Sir, this is Hasselus Mattress.
Throw in some breadsticks, too.
We don't have breadsticks.
Oh, well, give me some of them mozzarella sticks then.
We don't sell pizza. We sell mattresses from Sealy Posturepedic, Beauty Rest, and more for way less.
I think I've got a coupon somewhere.
You won't need a coupon for these everyday deals. Others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Queen Elm Cove A mattress for $1,459, but Hasselus has it for just $794.
Running any specials?
Yes. Through Monday, get an additional $248 off your new Beauty Rest or Sealy Posturepedic mattress just for shopping local.
Do you deliver?
Free next day delivery and haul away of your old mattress.
Great. Step on it, will you? I'm really hungry.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Packers make 6 selections in the NFL Draft, their fewest total since 2004. General Manager Brian Gutekunst.
I didn't think the opportunities to move back and add picks made a lot of sense for us. And the times that we moved up, I thought it did. So I think it was just a unique year that way. But I do feel like we did some things with our roster that give me some peace.
Following the draft, the Packers reportedly signed 11 undrafted free agents, all rookies expected to gather in Green Bay for a rookie minicamp in early May. Brewers salvaged the final game of a 3-game series against the Pirates with a 5-0 win. The homestand continues Tuesday night against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Right now, we are doing okay. We've got wet roads due to the rain. No crashes, though. That's some good news. Wow, this would be nice. Check that out. 94 in our construction zone around the ballpark. Not too bad. In fact, I don't see any delays right now at 94 westbound and just the tiniest bit of a delay 94 eastbound after American Family Field as you head into the city. That's great news right there. In our construction zone on 4145, that's a bit of a different story. Definitely some delays there. Also, we've got a broken down vehicle on the exit to Blue Mound Road from 4145 south. That is a busy spot. Also, another broken down vehicle, I-94 east, very close to the ramp from 164 County J. Left shoulder blocked in that case. And not too far from that one, I-94 west, very close to the ramp from County T. Right shoulder is blocked because of another broken down vehicle.
Rain and storms likely. A couple rounds of this stuff. The heavier stuff looks like it'll be later on tonight. High of 60 degrees, wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Storms eventually come to an end at a low of 49. Cloudy on Tuesday with a high of 62. Same for Wednesday, a high of 55. Kind of in that holding pattern here, mid-50s for the rest of the week. It's 49 and wet in Milwaukee at 12:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Can we just describe the events of the studio here?
I knew you would.
In the last 3 minutes or so. Jessica, very composed as always with her expert traffic report. But I would say about 40 seconds prior to the traffic report, Jessica thought she had discovered something on our rundown, which is kind of our roadmap for the show that we print out. We always have it online to make adjustments, but we like a printed copy here in the studio. And you saw one particular thing that I know you had seen before, but it got you.
Well, here's the thing. So we have later on, towards the end of the show, we've got a little story about a tick because lovely producer Gina found a tick on her shirt this morning, which she didn't like, and totally understandable. So, Greg, I'm assuming you put the tick on the rundown,
Yes,
right?
I did. I put Gina gets a tick on her and doesn't like it. That's 253.
So every once in a while, we add pictures to our rundown, and Greg decided to add one of those creepy, gross ticks to the rundown. And I'd already seen it. I knew it was in the rundown, but Gina just handed me the rundown, and it looks like it's popping off the paper. So
I don't know
even
why.
though I actually saw this about 2 hours ago, for some reason, it looks creepy as heck. And I just went, whoa! And just kind of jumped out of my body for a moment.
I don't know why. It does seem more three-dimensional. It does seem like it's lifted from the page somehow.
It is very gross. It is large and engorged, and I didn't like seeing it.
Okay, well, Gina doesn't like that one either.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Big story here at noon. The suspect in the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner will be arraigned this afternoon in federal court in Washington, D.C. 31-year-old Cole Allen is charged with using a firearm during a crime of violence and assault on a federal officer using a dangerous weapon. Prosecutors say additional charges are likely as the investigation unfolds. CBS legal reporter Katrina Kaufman.
It's notable that these are also charges that we saw related to the second assassination attempt on now President Donald Trump by Ryan Ruth. Now, in that case, he was also charged and convicted of attempting to assassinate a major presidential candidate. I think it's very likely here that we could see charges related to an attempt to kill a president.
Authorities stopped the suspect before he could get to the ballroom where the dinner was taking place. ABC's Stephen Portnoy was inside that room Saturday night. He heard the shots and quickly took cover under the table. Portnoy will join us coming up at our 2 o'clock hour. He's going to describe the frightening moments and address security concerns, because if you look on social media right now, you have a lot of people who are saying, I don't know, it didn't feel like it was as secure as it should have been. We'll ask him about that. Portnoy has great perspective, in part because he was there, but also because just a few years ago, he was president of the White House Correspondents Association and in charge of coordinating that dinner at that very location.
Yeah, he knows all about security for that event, no doubt about that. A group of U.S. budget airlines asking the federal government for $2.5 billion in relief because they're facing climbing jet fuel prices. CBS News correspondent Shalane Call explains.
This group of budget air carriers that have made this ask include Allegiant, Avelo, Frontier, and Spirit. This isn't a bailout. This money, if it happened, would only be eligible to help them cover those rising fuel costs, the fuel surcharges that they've seen happen.
So you got a number of these budget airlines flying out of Milwaukee, right? Sun Countries of the world, Spirits of the world, Frontier, and so on. They really struggle with these spikes in prices because, well, they're designed as a low-budget carrier, so they don't want their fare to look the same as Delta or one of the big dogs. But, you know, when you get down to brass tacks, your fare may end up being that if you got bags and so on and so forth. You want to pick your seat. Nevertheless, they are very sensitive to jacking up their prices, so they're seeking a little of assistance here because they can't pass all these costs on to the consumer with what the cost of jet fuel is these days. Airline tickets are never really cheap, it seems, but they're a little out of control right now, as you might expect.
And you have some people arguing, look, they need to make it themselves, and if they can't, taxpayer money should not go to support them. So we'll see what happens here.
In the likes of Spirit, how long are they going to be in business? They filed for bankruptcy twice at this point, and you get the feeling it's not the end, or maybe it is. It's 12:13 on WTMJ.
Hey everybody, Debbie Lazaga here for Comfort Awnings. This year, reclaim your outdoor space like I did. Having the option to extend our awning when that summer sun gets too hot or when it's raining has been a game changer and allows my dogs, husband, and me to enjoy our patio every season. Comfort Awnings is now offering their biggest promo ever. Get up to $1,000 off any awning or screen. That's right, start spring off right and get 10% off up to $1,000 until the end of the month. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
Penny Mustard is proud to introduce the latest innovation in home furnishings, presenting the single-seat mini sofa.
What are you talking about?
Look right there.
That's not a single-seat sofa.
It has fabric, doesn't it?
Yes.
And it's plush, right?
Sure.
And you sit on it.
Obviously.
So you tell me what that is.
It's Penny Mustard's new line of upholstered dining chairs.
Huh?
It's like something you'd see in a fancy 5-star restaurant.
But they don't look like dining chairs.
Precisely. These unique chairs take your dining experience to a whole new level.
Our upholstered dining chairs are functional, comfortable, and oh so stylish.
They are, without a doubt, the finest dining chairs masquerading as single-seat mini sofas you'll ever see.
Can't argue with that.
The new upholstered dining chair collection, American-made with solid wood and your choice of fabric or leather, starting at $9.16 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
People hear Horicon Bank and they think local instantaneously.
Over the years, was able to help them in their later years when they needed some care. So I would say that was cradle to grave experience for me.
We encounter precious moments like this all the time. We have a trust administration department that can help.
Our motto is together as a bank and as an organization, and then doing good.
There's amazing success stories of small business entrepreneurs who now are multi-million-dollar companies.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC. Well, it's pretty active radar right now. A lot of areas in our listening area getting wet. Could be a little pocket of dryness later this afternoon, but round 2 of the storms cruise in later on tonight. And they'll be developing and could pack a punch. So be mindful of that if you're out and about this evening. It's going to be kind of a wet and dreary day here. High of 60. I don't know if it'll feel like that with wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour. We cool off into the 50s for the bulk of the week here. 55 are high on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, similar conditions. It's 49 and rainy in Milwaukee at 12:15. And our weekly economic spotlight is presented by Horicon Bank. Together doing good, it's horiconbank.com, the natural choice, and member FDIC. Welcoming to the studio, it's MMAC President Dale Koinga, sitting in for Tim Sheehy today. Hi, Dale.
Happy Monday.
Hi. Happy Monday.
We've had a lot of talk, Dale, about We Energies and data centers, and how is this going to work? These massive data centers get built. Is the cost for keeping these things powered going to be kicked off to the consumers, you and me? How is it going to work? It's been a big discussion. Well, recently the Public Service Commission approved a We Energy special energy rate for these data centers. So what does this all mean, and what does it mean for us?
Well, really appreciate the opportunity to speak about this, because on this particular topic, there is just incredible amounts of misinformation, disinformation out there. And one of those points of misinformation is that your electricity rates are going to go up because you need to subsidize this massive investment that needs to happen for these data centers. So on Friday, the Public Service Commission made it very clear that the electricity rates for these data centers will be separate, and they will pay 100% of the cost for the production, the transmission, and the usage of these. There will be no subsidization. Now, this goes back to what we've been saying for a while. We actually think this actually may even lower energy costs. The reason is because energy usage in Wisconsin continues to decrease because of efficiency and lack of huge industrial, like we used to make cars and other things here. So if you have a fixed cost and more people are paying those fixed costs, it could actually put downward pressure on prices. So this is a consistent, what we're seeing with water. Like, you're not going to be paying for your water. Water use should be going down. That there's pressure to actually now pay less for water. Property taxes. Your property taxes are not subsidized these data centers. They're going to bring more property tax base. And so I could go on the list here, but bottom line is, here in Wisconsin, you will not pay more for electricity. Like, they are paying their own way. And by the way, the two states that have the greatest number of data centers is Virginia and Texas, and their electric rates are lower than Wisconsin's. So everything points to that these data centers will not raise your electricity rates.
Speaking of other states, is this a model other states might follow? And if so, does that put Wisconsin in a leadership role here?
Yeah, it will follow. Now, not every single state has the same policies, and it depends on regulated versus unregulated model. But I've heard of states, and I don't know if it's been announced yet, it's confidential through another peer chamber, but they do a data center there. They're actually announcing that their rates will be cut because the energy company is getting so much money from those data centers that they're actually cutting the rates. So when you look at it, but Virginia did not have as many safeguards that did not put the pressure and the cost of these data centers on utility ratepayers. Now, granted, their rates are still lower than Wisconsin, but yeah, I think Wisconsin's going to be a leader on this. I'll just give you an example. This is one of the feedback that we gave to Microsoft was, hey, these non-disclosure agreements are not going over well in the community, and they build mistrust. And then Brad Smith, after he came here and heard this from our stakeholders, actually announced that Microsoft was no longer doing non-disclosure agreements, and now it appears that the whole industry will follow them. So yeah, once again, I believe that Wisconsin is a leader on this, and this great model that the Public Service Commission came out with is going to be national, where, hey, these costs are segregated to you, and you're going to pay for these entire costs yourself.
For the life of the data center, or is there a service agreement in place that caps it at a certain amount of years, or how is that going to play out?
Pretty much the life of the data center. The specific agreement that We Energies put out there was 10 years. The Public Service Commission said 15 years. But really the huge costs on this are the new infrastructure costs for the utility lines and the power generation. Now, originally, We Energies said 75% should be paid for this new production from the data centers, 25% from existing data centers. And the reason they said that was, if there was no data centers in Wisconsin, there was still going to have to be a new round of new power production. Now, why is that? If I just said usage is going down, why does there still have to be additional investment with no data centers here in Wisconsin? And the reason being is that the federal government has put tremendous pressure, especially under the Biden administration, to say you have to move off coal. And we still get a significant amount of our energy production from coal. And so that was the rationale saying, hey, we have to move away from coal anyways. That's what the federal government's saying, so everyone should help pay for this. But with this new agreement, that's off the table 100%. 100% of all new electricity production will be paid for by these data centers.
Oftentimes when you visit us, we do talk about the data centers. Sometimes we also talk about the Milwaukee Public School District. And this is interesting. So LA just became the first major school district to enact screen time limits. Do you think Wisconsin schools, specifically Milwaukee Public Schools, the largest district in the state, should do something similar?
Yes. I'm really surprised that LA is the first district to do this. The science on the correlation between screen time and lack of attention, learning. It's just, there is a direct relation between screen time and the ability to learn. So it's really, the way I read this is that it's also screen time like on a screen, like the teacher can't just say, hey, we're watching a movie. I mean, screen time broadly. There are more and more states that say no cell phones in the classroom. That seems to be a bipartisan issue. And one of the things we learned from COVID is you can't replicate presence, right? You know this on the radio, is it's always better when you're in studio with an interview versus doing it on the phone. I think your listeners would agree. And there's so many other things from family Christmas to instruction to radio interviews is you can't replicate physical presence unless screen time is a good thing.
So let's define a screen, because blackboards don't exist in classrooms anymore. There are smart boards, which to me is a screen. Overhead projectors don't exist. Those are the best, man. I love the overhead projector, but I always smeared it because I remember that
when they rolled it in.
That's really going back.
My daughter's in 5th grade, right? They have Chromebooks. They're on them every day. That is a screen. So is the screen the problem, or is what is on the screen the problem when you're talking about tablets, cell phones, things like that being controlled?
Yeah, obviously it's pretty nuanced, and I don't see them enforcing it to that level of detail. I'll just say personally, I still get the snail mail newspaper. I read the physical newspaper. I did that for 2 reasons. Is one, that my kids were like, well, Dad, you're on your phone all the time. Well, when Dad's on my phone, I'm reading the Wall Street Journal, Journal Sentinel, New York Times. I'm reading information. So now they actually see me read the newspaper. And second thing is studies have shown that you retain information better if it's in physical form, if it's in front of you in paper versus having on a screen. And so they're going to have to figure that out. I mean, I don't really see the policymakers getting that specific on it and then coming into class, you're like, oh, you're 10 minutes over, you're on a blackboard. But I think the concept is good, and I think more cities and school districts should look at it.
When you said this is a bipartisan issue, I kind of went, oh, gosh, why? I mean, I understand parents, some concern from parents thinking, well, if my kid is not allowed to have a cell phone in school or in the classroom, if there is something, God forbid, you've got a school shooting or something like that where you want your kid to be able to connect with you immediately and say, Mom, Dad, this is what's going on and I want you to know. Or if it's something, just an everyday thing, you have to get a message out to your kid. I can understand parents wanting that communication, but why is this a bipartisan issue?
Well, the science is very clear, and those arguments have come up, like what if there's an emergency? I mean, we're not talking about having no cell phones in the school. A lot of schools, what they do is they have the little jacket at the door, you put it in there, you keep it in your locker.
A little box, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the trade-off between the ability to learn more and interact more and healthy social engagement, the benefits of that are a lot more clear than the anecdotal, like what if this emergency happened? I mean, there's still teachers and adults in those classrooms that have communication means to get out to the outside world as well, outside the classroom.
Well, the good news is the cost of raising a child is very cheap these days, thankfully. Right? Have you seen these new numbers? We did it a little while ago.
I don't need to look at it. I'm a father of 4 kids.
Well, it's a very good point.
You have the
18,
receipts.
16, 14, and 12. I was actually asking Jennifer the other day, I said, are we ever going to get a grocery store bill or a restaurant bill or electric? Like, is there anything that's going to happen anymore in our life going forward where we just don't go, wow, that's expensive?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, to your point, though, the numbers, I mean, this is not just Dale Koinka anecdotal world. It's actually the numbers show that there's been a 30% increase in 4 years of raising a kid is now $13,000. It's going up and up. Now, I will say this is don't not have kids because you're worried about the price of having kids. Somehow you figure it out. And I think some of this is that in 2026 America, our standards of what we need to raise a kid, like, oh, we need to have the big car, or everyone has to have their own room, or we have to go out to eat, 2 times a week, is you may have to adjust your living standards, but I would say as a father of 4, there's no greater joy than being a parent, and the incremental cost of raising kids, you will figure it out. You will figure it out. I mean, you got to manage that. And I think that's also a motivation as far as right policies, right? Is you have to fight for the right policies, because those pressure of those costs is not going to be on upper middle class people that are retired as much as it is those people trying to raise families. And we have to support families. So it's going up, but I don't think it's and it's actually, this is showing that people are delaying families, they're marrying later, they're having kids later. I would just say as a proud father of 4, it's not that egregious. Go ahead and have those kids.
And the joy of driving that minivan, too,
well,
right?
yes, minivan, minivan, mega fun. I believe that's what it's really all about. My daughter inquisitively asked me the other day when we were shopping. I was like, we don't need that one. Like the one right next to it is fine, and it's a little less expensive. Just grab that. It's like, Dad, is anything not as expensive as when you were a kid? And my only thought was maybe bananas, but I think they're probably even a little bit more, but nominally different.
Yeah, and we try to pass. I mean, what we try to do is we share our costs with our kids more and more. So we, let them have visibility on, hey, this is how much your insurance costs us because you got that speeding ticket, or this is. So it's just, I mean, I hate to say it's just money, but there's a lot more things in life that are more important than just money. But sharing with your kids, like, hey, we can't go out to eat every 3 days. I mean, when I was a kid, I was the son of a garbage man. I mean, we went out to eat like once a month. And it was like a big deal. And now it just seems like, let's just go out to eat. So we try to share with our kids like the cost of it and like the limits of it and a budget. And I think that's all part of having your kids at some point be stakeholders in, hey, this is the family budget. Here's what we have money for, and this is why we have a budget.
When you said sharing the cost, at first I thought you were sharing the actual cost. So I was curious how much they're getting for each of their chores. But you mean sharing the information.
Information and cost. I mean, I think that, each family and each child is different. I mean, what we do is we, like when they're in basketball season, or volleyball season, there's no opportunity for them to have a job. I mean, between school, a healthy social life, and those sports, they just can't hold the job. But now my senior is, graduated, he's going to play basketball next year in college, but it's like, hey, you need to go, like, no more me send you $15 for Culver's. Like, that's your $15 for Culver's is now your pocket, your money. So they started a business in Elmbrook doing garlic mustard removal and buckthorn removal and
nice.
Mulching. Yeah, so he's figuring it out. And, I would say that there's life lessons in kids figuring that out. And there's ways you could scale it up from when they're young to when they're older to say, hey, some of these costs, you want to go to Target? Like, it's not just mom and dad's, but you could earn some money and you could make $10 and you go to Target and figure it out.
Means more when you earn it.
Yeah, we got my daughter says some dog treats we want to sell you too, by the way. That's
do you?
Side hustle.
Oh, I'm a buyer.
Good stuff. Dale Coyne joining us here from the MMAC.
Dale.
Thanks, Dale.
Thank you.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code MONEY to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code MONEY to borrow up to $10,000. Use code MONEY to borrow up to $10,000.
Hey, step up to the plate and take a shot at winning major prizes. The $300,000 Big League Series at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee is up for grabs. April through June, you could win a share of $300,000 in prizes, and all monthly promo entries count toward the grand finale drawings. That'll be June 26. Score one of three all new Toyota vehicles and get triple the entries during Brewers home games. Again, it's only at Potawatomi. Got to be a rewards member to play. Get that activated at Potawatomi. More info online.
Take your mother to the magnificent Mother's Day brunch at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill. The spring drive through Kettle Moraine Forest is spectacular. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat free. Google, call, and reserve your family table today.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. Your top story: a Milwaukee alderman enters the race for Congress.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. We're expecting to hear more this afternoon about that scary incident at this weekend's White House Correspondents' Dinner, where a gunman identified as Cole Allen allegedly rushed past security near where the event was taking place. Intelligence officials, including Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche and FBI Director Kash Patel, are expected to speak. Meanwhile, peace negotiations between the U.S. and Iran are at a standstill, with planned in-person talks this past weekend canceled by President Trump. ABC's Martha Raddatz.
We canceled the trip. We have all the cards.
President Trump has repeatedly claimed Iran wants to negotiate again since the last round ended in failure. But the regime has never publicly said there would be a direct meeting with the U.S. Over the weekend, the president calling off his Mideast envoy Steve Witkoff and son-in-law Jared Kushner, who were set to travel to Pakistan.
And Chicago and St. Louis are among the cities at an enhanced risk of severe storms today. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 12:31. Decision, Wisconsin, the race for Congress. It's a candidate from Milwaukee.
Peter Brigillis announced Sunday he's running in Wisconsin's 1st Congressional District. Brigillis says rising costs for things like groceries and housing are driving his campaign, and he's promising to better connect with voters. He'll challenge incumbent Republican Representative Brian Stile. Stile responded by criticizing Brigillis, saying he doesn't live in the district and pointing to past votes on local taxes. The midterm elections are later this year on November 3rd. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
A bridge collapse sends concrete and debris into the Oconomowoc River. The Lapham Street Bridge was under construction when it collapsed Saturday afternoon. The Oconomowoc mayor says no one was hurt, and the contractor has since cleaned up the debris. The State Department of Transportation is now investigating what caused that collapse.
Drivers will need to watch out for a traffic pattern switch on 41 later this week.
As work continues on I-41, watch for changes between Burleigh and Good Hope Road. The DOT's Eric Hansen says
this project is scheduled to have a traffic switch. It will include long-term lane closures for both northbound and southbound I-41.
The change moves northbound traffic onto the southbound side.
There are 2 long-term ramp closures that will occur as well. The northbound exit to Appleton Avenue, as well as the Capitol Drive entrance ramp to I-41 southbound.
The Capitol Drive ramp should reopen by late July, while the Appleton exit stays closed through the fall. Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
A Madison basketball team honored for its resilience after a school shooting in 2024. The Abundant Life Christian School boys team received the Spirit of Sport Award at this year's Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association annual meeting after returning to play in January 2025. Abundant Life head coach after their season ended.
Tell these guys a lot that it's more than basketball. We play for a much higher purpose. God continues to give you opportunities to play for Him and His higher purpose and for our community and our fans. I just am so grateful.
The Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin and the WIAA awarded that presentation.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 12:33.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Dave.
The campus is beautiful. For me, nature is my church, and I love being outside. We live by the Bark River, and it's calming. It just calms my soul. I just love it. A lot of the people, I'm talking about 100-year-old people, they credit Three Pillars with living longer.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Fishing season kicks off this weekend. Are you ready to hit the water? Stop into MW Marine and check out the brand new 2026 Lund, Ranger, and Vexus boats, all powered by Mercury Outboards. Start your boat shopping now and lock in a great deal so you're ready when summer hits. MW Marine takes trades, offers full boat service, plus outdoor storage to keep your rig in top shape. Call now to schedule a private appointment or stop in today. MW Marine.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house. Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzik households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can easily find the products you need and trust at unbeatable farm and fleet prices? Like $5 off a 5-gallon bucket of select Blaine's brand premium tractor fluid, 20% off select caulk and construction adhesives, and 2.5-gallon jugs of Clean Def diesel exhaust fluid, just $7.99. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. The Packers make 6 selections in the NFL draft, their fewest total since 2004. General Manager Brian Gutekunst.
I didn't think the opportunities to move back and add picks meant a lot of sense for us. And the times that we moved up, I thought it did. So I think it was just a unique year that way. But I do feel like we did some things with our roster that's given me some peace.
Following the draft, the Packers reportedly signed 11 undrafted free agents. All rookies expected to gather in Green Bay for rookie minicamp in early May. Brewers salvaged the final game of a 3-game series against the Pirates with a 5-0 win Sunday afternoon. The homestand continues Tuesday night against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I am seeing, it was almost like I jinxed it, guys. Sorry about that. 94 around the ballpark. Oh, it was looking so good right at noon. Hardly any delays, which is awesome considering the delays we typically see during our construction times. But the delays are getting a little bit worse right now, and that's both 94 eastbound and westbound. So heads up there, nothing new, nothing out of the ordinary. It's just due to the construction. Also, 4145 in our construction zone near Mayfair. Delays are increasing there as well. No crashes to report. Great news. We do have a couple disabled vehicles, including this one, broken down vehicle on the exit to Blue Mound Road from 4145 south.
Well, tough day for outdoor activities. Rain and storms are likely here. A couple of different rounds. One could be ending here in the early afternoon hours, but another one firing up later tonight. That could be a little more on the severe side. High of 60 degrees, wind gust up to 30 miles an hour. Storms eventually end tonight at a low of 49. Tuesday's high 62 under partly cloudy skies. It's 49 and rainy in Milwaukee at 12:39.
Earlier this month, Esquire magazine proclaimed Beef the best show on television. Season 1 earned Emmys. Season 2, apparently not as good according to the reviews, but still very successful for Netflix. And how cool is this? The show just featured a product from an urban streetwear brand founded right here in Milwaukee. Estevan Longoria, founder and owner of Lost Files, joins us live in the studio to give us a scoop. Welcome back.
Thank you guys for having me.
You are involved, I feel like, in all these cool projects because last time, it was, I feel like just a few months ago, we had you on for the Bucks collab that was just blowing up. And now this, I saw this on Instagram and I had so many questions. Like when I saw that your tote bag was featured, how did they get it? Did they need your position or your permission? So let's dive into it. How did you even learn that they were interested in featuring a product of yours?
So it looks like they had it. Like, again, I don't know how exactly they got it, but it looks like someone on set must have had it, and their clearing agency reached out to me asking for permission to use it.
So what was your initial thought when you pick up that phone call or you get the email?
Yeah, I got the email. obviously a little skeptical that it was real. So kind of searched some names up on LinkedIn and did some digging, but everything checked out and they gave me a ton of information. They were really helpful, like working me through that process. So it was awesome. And that was months ago at this point. So I was like, oh man, now I can't wait for season 2.
It just sort of brings into light all the steps that producers have to go through in order to just shoot a scene, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's carrying a backpack. Somebody's got a purse. Whatever. You got to go through the channels to make sure it's legal to have that. I am curious how they ended up with the bag in their possession in the first raid, then figured out, oh, he's the guy we got to call in order to make this work.
Yeah, so I mean, it's crazy because this is a bag that we designed years ago, probably like 3 years ago at this point, and we give this bag away free with every purchase, essentially. Like at points we were sold out, at some point between when we first made it and now, but like we brought it back and people love this tote bag for some reason. It's just, we give it out with every free purchase. You can't even buy it on our website. You just get it with every free purchase. So to know that, someone on set had it or obviously purchased something else from our website, got that bag, and that bag stuck around with them is really cool.
That's awesome. And we do have a little clip from Beef right now on Netflix, streaming right now. So if you were joining us on YouTube, you're streaming with us on social media, you can see that. Can you describe, for those who are in their cars right now, describe the tote bag? And because your designs are so neat, and I feel like that's probably part of the appeal here.
Yeah, so the tote bag itself is like a canvas tote bag. It's, like reused, recycled material, and then the design on it is actually our cabin scene logo that we use a ton of. And again, this was like a piece that we wanted to make so that we could elevate that shopping experience for our customers and just have them be able to get another piece of Lost Files when they order. So again, it's a piece that people love from us, and it's like literally one of our favorite pieces that we've ever made.
So take us to that moment when you sit down, you turn on the TV, you go to Netflix, you click Beef, and you are watching this episode with your product. Kind of walk us through the episode and then also just what you were thinking and how you were feeling when you saw your product featured.
Yeah, so when they initially reached out, they couldn't tell me too much on the season and how it was being used. But so when the season came out, I started watching it and I was expecting it just to be in like the background of an episode or two, but it ended up being used by one of the main characters as her like work bag, which was really cool. So yeah, it was like showed up in episode 2 and then she uses it throughout that episode into episode 3. So it was really cool because it's prominent to me because I know the bag, but it sticks out a bit.
So there's power behind the product, right? I never wrote a stapler in my life until Office Space. And then all of a sudden I had to have a red swingline stapler.
You're kidding. Oh,
right.
Funny.
It's just a classic product from that movie that everybody remembers.
Right.
The guy had his stapler. It was a red swingline stapler and it became popular. All right, this happens, right? Product placement, things get popular after appearing in movies. And now in this day and age, streaming services and Netflix and so on. You say it's free with purchase. So what's the goal here? Are you hoping that, obviously you want to drive traffic to your business in any way, shape, or form, but what if people want their hands on that bag? Is there a thought that we might actually have to sell these?
Yeah, so we did end up making them available on our website like just last week before the episode went live. I figured like, okay, it'd probably be nice just to have them up. So we actually seen a few orders come through for them, which is funny because they're only $5 on the site, but people love them so much that we made a bigger version of this tote bag to put bigger pieces in when we sell products. And just to be able to, come on here and talk about this on TikTok and, kind of explain the process with everybody, I think even that drives traction too. So, or drives foot traffic through our website and whatnot. So it was really cool to not only see it, but then be able to talk about it multiple times like this.
We're talking with Esteban Longoria. He's the founder and owner of Lost Files, and a product of his, this tote bag, was just featured on the hit Netflix show Beef. What a cool opportunity. When you think about how far your company has come and that it's Milwaukee-based, how do you feel knowing, we had you on for the Bucks collab and now this, and who knows what's next?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things that's cool too because like I said, like we designed this product, again, probably like 3 years ago, and it was a free product. And like when you're designing it 3 years ago, you're thinking nothing of it. Like it's kind of just something else to give to people and, show our appreciation to our customers for it to come, years later and it's being used in a Netflix show. It's crazy. And again, it's like something to help me like take a step back and understand how cool this all is.
I think Lost Files should be the name of a series on Netflix, right?
totally
It doesn't
agree.
feel like
Yeah, it
the
does.
perfect name for it.
Can you also email them and say, hey, I have some other products that I feel like
Right.
she could be using every day? And,
Yeah.
season 3, I don't know. Is there a season 3? I'm not even sure.
I'm not sure if that's in the works or not.
I feel like you should push some of your
I
products
definitely
to them.
could. Yeah.
Speaking of what's next, I said, does this get you excited for what's next? You do have something big that's coming up next, a physical store that's opening next month. What can you tell people?
Yeah, so we have a physical location finally coming to Wisconsin. It's going to be in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. The address is 607 West Main Street. Our grand opening is scheduled to be Saturday, May 16th. That's all I've been working on for like the past few months now. Obviously, that's taken up a huge chunk of my time, but I'm super excited for that.
How'd you pick Lake Geneva?
It just felt right. Like, I don't know. It was I wanted somewhere that, was going to be like an influx of different people. And that seemed like the perfect place. It was kind of between there and Door County. And I felt like in Lake Geneva, we would just get a wider variety, more non-Wisconsin residents, which is cool.
You're in a boutique world there too, right?
Yeah,
those
for sure.
kind of shops, they scream local, they scream one of a kind.
For
and
sure.
You're going to miss out if you don't get it today kind of stuff.
Exactly. And that's, exactly what we were going for. Like I said, it's going to be like turnover in the people we see every day rather than, maybe here you're kind of seeing the same faces every now and then. So there, I think it's going to give us a chance to be in front of a lot of different people in a good, like in that summer, right? Like that's when their high traffic season is, and we're just going to be able to see a ton of people.
Maybe Door County's down the road.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm super excited to see where this goes and see what the response is from, the different people we see. And from there, we can kind of get an understanding of how it works and what might be the next step for us.
That's awesome. Best wishes on the new physical store. That's Esteban Longoria, founder and owner of Lost Files. We appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you, guys.
It's 1247.
Hi, I'm Jane. Before moving to Capri Communities, my daughter spent more time helping me with chores than enjoying our visits. Now she comes over and we can go to concerts, we enjoy delicious meals, and participate in activities that are always happening. I choose senior living so that our time together can be more about fun than fixing things. And I love the freedom it gives me every day.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at CapriCommunities.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik here from my friends at Soren's Ford. It's on Capitol Drive in the heart of Brookfield. I drive by it every day. As a matter of fact, incredible inventory at Soren's Ford on Capitol Drive, and they have been the leaders here with regards to Ford in the state of Wisconsin since 1917. Think about that. Over 100 years in business, Wisconsin's longest-running Ford dealership is Soren's Ford. Now a fourth-generation family-owned business. The Soren's family has been behind this from the get-go, and they still are today. Over 100 years' experience working with you. Ford, used and new, on their lot. The inventory is impressive. If they don't have what you're looking for, check in with them. They're likely able to find it for you. Service and quality go hand in hand. It's a buying and ownership experience unlike any other at Soren's Ford. Located on Capitol Drive in the heart of Brookfield, ask about their service options that might be able to bring a tech right to your doorstep or your place of work. In fact, I connected with Soren's last week. My wife needs an oil change. I said, Greg, no problem. We'll come to you. No problem. You live close. We'll come to you and do the oil change. You don't even have to leave the house. That is service. They can do it for you. They can do it for anyone. It's Soren's Ford on Capitol Drive in Brookfield. Visit Sorens.com. That's SOERENS.com.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Debbie Loziga here, and I'm so happy with what has been going on with the Milwaukee Weight Loss Program. They've held my hand through everything, and I'm already down over 20 pounds. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's about a pound per day. And for limited time, get $200 off with their spring special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary.
Burkhart Sporting Goods has a great reputation for producing custom team apparel. We're total team outfitters and we can handle the biggest jobs. Our success in custom team apparel led us into group and corporate apparel. Plus, we have a full selection of promotional products for employee gifts, special events, you name it. And we've made it easy for our customers to firm up their orders. The group sale web stores that we build for our customers are a simple way of gathering all the information you need. They're easy to work, easy to understand, and with them you'll have access to nearly limitless options. We've seen that most times we're better priced than our competition on the same high-quality apparel choices that the other guys offer. Plus Nike and Under Armour choices that the other guys can't get. And we offer a huge brand selection from Yeti, North Face, and Carhartt too. This is Brian Burkhart. For team, group, or corporate custom outfitting and promotional products, it's going to be really hard to beat our prices, selection, and ease of buying for any size budget and every size company. And that's why we always say,
you can't beat Burkhart.
Your home is about as personal as it gets, right?
We want to build a relationship with homeowners, not only educating them, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us.
Yeah, the interview goes both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to know people while also serving them. It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
Besides that, it's just the right thing to do. See how Big Fish Contracting is renovating homes and redeeming an industry at bigfishcontracting.com.
There's not a bad time to better insulate your home, but there is a better time, and it's right now. Vince Vitrano here just talked with Jeff from USA Insulation. Jeff says they always get busy in the fall and early winter as everyone's concerned about keeping their houses warm. But doing a project with USA Insulation does just as well to keep your house cooler in the summer months and saving you money on your electric bills. Tell Jeff Vinny told you want the government rebates and discounts that can save you thousands on your project. Get started at usainsulation.net.
Well, rain is in the forecast today. It might be raining where you are. It might be dry, but more rain is coming. A couple of rounds of this. Lauren Larson joins us coming up at about 1:35. Trying to figure out if it's going to be severe stuff later tonight or not. We'll get details from Lauren at 1:35. 60 degrees are high today, 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Kind of a dreary day. Overnight low 49 as rain eventually moves out of the area. It's 49 and wet in Milwaukee at 12:52.
Prices for groceries and gas aren't the only ones soaring. Booze has gotten more expensive, too. Now some drinkers are finding ways to save. CBS's Deborah Rodriguez explains.
With the average price of a cocktail in the U.S. now almost $14, and that's a bargain in some cities, a lot of people are learning the art of pre-gaming. They're downing a couple of drinks or a glass of wine before they go out. Some are stashing flasks and airplane-sized bottles in their bags and spiking their sodas at restaurants and bars. The Wall Street Journal reports big brands like Don Julio and Kendall Jenner's 818 Tequila are catching on, debuting minis of their own. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Savvy. Savvy.
But no, isn't it kind of funny, though? Because when you hear that people are learning to pregame, doesn't that just remind you of college?
Oh,
Didn't
yes.
we do that decades ago?
Of course, yes. You had your power hours. You had all sorts of different things. But it reminds me of a thing. You see it on social media. It's a couple that are out for Mexican, and they get a to-go box. It's like a styrofoam tray, and the lady dumps her margarita in it, and they
Have
leave.
you actually seen that happen in real life? I've seen it on social media.
I've not seen it in real life, but it appeared to be an accurate social media description of what was a real event.
So I laughed. It was last week. I saw the article in the Wall Street Journal, and the headline is, "Drinks are so expensive that grown-ups are pre-gaming like they did in college." It's a sign of the times.
Well, it's no doubt. So if you want to, for example, we like going out for tacos once in a while. Tacos are a great time. And so is a margarita with your tacos.
Delicious.
Yeah, right. So the full plate of tacos with your rice and your beans is usually about the same price as your margarita. So you do takeout, you can kind of save as well. If you want the restaurant quality taste inside your house, well, be a good cook, number one. Or number two, just do the carryout thing. Then drink what you want at home.
So here's the deal. That story, she said the average price of a cocktail in the U.S. is now almost $14.
Crazy, yeah.
That doesn't surprise me at all. In fact, I feel like that's pretty typical. Even Friday night, my husband and I went out for a glass of wine in the Third Ward. I think I chose one that was $14 versus one that was $16, and that was one of the cheaper ones. But coffee prices, too. We went out on Sunday to a place that I love. It's a local coffee shop. I love the coffee there, but we got 2 coffees, and the bill was $22. That's a lot to go out and have a cup of coffee. So you think about the coffee, and ironically, they had just increased the prices apparently, but hadn't changed their menus yet. So they said, yeah, we recently had to increase the cost. So you have 2 cups of coffee, and then I think there might have been like a credit card charge or a service fee or something like that. And then I added a tip on it too. I didn't add a ton. I did $2 for one for each, as though say you were talking about the cost of a cocktail. If you were going to a bar and you ordered a drink, maybe you do $1 for each one. So I didn't have to do that, of course, but I did because also there is an art to this coffee shop and what they do, and they make it look beautiful with the foam. So I added $2 onto it. But even if you didn't have the $2, it still would have been like $20 for 2 cups of coffee.
Mocktails have become more and more popular too.
Yeah.
And oftentimes those are more expensive than your draft of Miller Lite or your bottle of Light, like quite a bit, like double $10, $11 for a mocktail. And then it's $14 if you want the vodka or whatever your spirit of choice is inside that drink. It's pretty crazy.
It does seem crazy. I get that as well. But I guess in some cases there can be an art to that mocktail as well. Not in all cases, but some cases. The bartender's doing something a little extra special. They're just not adding the alcohol to it.
Going to drink my company-provided water here as we get ready for the 1 o'clock news, which is next on WTMJ.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
Have you seen my husband?
No.
He's hot.
I'm sorry to hear that.
What?
Good news. Hasselus Mattress is home to a variety of cool gel mattresses, including Tempur-Pedic.
Okay, but...
And right now, get 48 months interest-free financing on Tempur-Pedic with approved credit. Plus, free next-day delivery and setup, free removal of your old mattress, and a $300 MasterCard gift card with your new Tempur-Pedic.
Wow, that's pretty hot.
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Is your master closet or really any space inside your house a disaster? Is it cluttered? If you have an issue of any kind, you know what I'm talking about here. It's a mess. You want folks who can help you solve the problem. Inspired Closets Milwaukee stepped right into our master closet, quite literally, and took some measurements and came up with a beautiful design solution to reduce the clutter. It's gone. No more stress. It's a beautiful place. We used to shut the door quickly upon leaving our master closet. No longer the case. We like the door open so people can see the work that Inspired Closets Milwaukee did for us. It's Katie and Dan, a wife and husband team right here in southeastern Wisconsin, solving your clutter mess issues. Could be a master closet. Maybe it's a pantry or a linen closet. Ask what they can do for your mudroom or your laundry room. They've got garage solutions. Really any place in your house that needs an organizational touch, the folks at Inspired Closets Milwaukee can help you. From idea and concepting to a 3D rendering to a virtual tour of the space. That's right. You can put the goggles on at their showroom and walk around the space. It's what we did, and it was helpful. Gave us a great idea for the space that they designed for us. Incredible team. Katie and Dan, a wife and husband team at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Picture this, a perfect summer evening, great friends, and dinner on the patio overlooking a beautiful course. That's Racine Country Club. More than golf, it's a place to relax, gather, and belong. A new energy is here, and you're invited to experience it. From great food to unforgettable events, it's a lifestyle built around community. Whether it's a quick night after work, dinner with friends, or a weekend with family, Racine Country Club offers something for everyone year-round. Discover what's new at Racine Country Club. Visit racinecountryclub.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors of Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything and recreation. This week as the weather warms up in the great state of Wisconsin, we're talking bicycling, cycling, all the cool things you can do on a bike. Why not get out 2 wheels and experience the great things on a bike in Wisconsin?
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Amy Simonson is the IT administrator with Professional Services Group. They had business technology from a not-so-supportive vendor. Not anymore. They switched to James Imaging Systems.
They come in as a partner. They want to help you. They want to make your business successful.
Including your James Imaging Systems sales representative.
He's always there when I I need him, it's always like, what can I do to help you?
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner with great people and more value.
The value is we have the right equipment in the right place. We're getting reliable, consistent service when we need it.
Amy, your advice for other Wisconsin businesses?
I would definitely say contact James Imaging. They are very helpful and knowledgeable and will put you in the right place.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation. Call 262-781-7700, 262-781-7700, or visit jamesimaging.com.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ish Nala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ish Nala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ish Nala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ish Nala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ish Nala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 101. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, April 27th. Your top story, looking for a motive after the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting.
I'm Jessica Ty. A teen murder suspect back in jail.
Rain in the forecast today, then again tonight. Some severe storms are possible. Lauren Larson joins us coming up in about 30 minutes to talk about that. It's currently 49 and rainy in Milwaukee. At 101 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, investigators continue to uncover a possible motive behind the suspect charged with firing shots at the White House Correspondents' Dinner Saturday night. 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen reportedly wrote to family members that it was his duty to target Trump administration officials. News Nation's Hannah Brandt.
Allen reportedly calling himself the friendly federal assassin. A White House official tells me it also clearly states he was trying to target Trump administration officials. They add he had a lot of anti-Trump and anti-Christian rhetoric on his social media accounts. And Allen apparently sent his family a copy of his manifesto minutes before this shooting, we're told. His brother then contacted police, and Secret Service interviewed his sister at her Maryland home, where she told them that Allen had a tendency to make some radical statements.
Allen will be arraigned in court later this afternoon.
The White House is reviewing security measures in the wake of the incident at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Secret Service is conducting an after-action review about possible lapses. Authorities say the gunman ran past security in an effort to get inside the ballroom of the Washington Hilton. ABC's Brad Garrett discusses the difficulty of securing a hotel before high-profile events.
Any way that you can get to the ballroom, people should not have access, or at least has to go through a human person, a Secret Service agent or uniformed officer. But I'm going to guess here that because of fire codes, you can't lock down that elevator. Yes, you could put a Secret Service agent in the stairwell, of course, but you couldn't shut down the stairwell just because of fire, etc.
This man was a guest at the hotel. Sources have also told ABC News the suspected shooter used a staircase away from the public entrances and exits.
Closer to home, a teenager charged in a deadly shooting in Milwaukee has been rearrested after he was mistakenly released over the weekend.
The 14-year-old boy was allegedly involved in the murder of 35-year-old David Krause. Krause was out celebrating 414 Day when he was shot and killed near 1st Street and Greenfield Avenue. Police say the incident was an attempted robbery and 3 teens were arrested. A spokesperson from Milwaukee County says he was taken back into custody Monday morning and, quote, the circumstances of the release are being investigated. Police are still seeking additional suspects. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
State regulators approve a plan that holds hyperscale data centers accountable for energy costs.
The Public Service Commission made several major changes to We Energy's proposal. Data centers must pay the full costs of new natural gas plants needed to power them. And the eligibility threshold for a very large customer rate is just 100 megawatts instead of 500. The commission also lengthened service agreement requirements from 10 years to 15. Commissioner Christy Nieto.
The decisions we're making here today will not be limited to this docket. They will shape future proceedings, future investments, and the trajectory of the utility system itself.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee food trucks will now have to close earlier than usual under a new city rule.
The Milwaukee Common Council unanimously approved restrictions on late-night operating hours, citing safety concerns. Under the change, food trucks downtown Milwaukee must close by 10 p.m., while other areas will have an 11 p.m. cutoff. That's earlier than the previous 1 a.m. closing time. Alderman Bob Bauman, who introduced this ordinance, says it's aimed at reducing violence and disorder in the downtown area. The rule takes effect on May 9th. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is off a little today, down about 90 points at 49,142. NASDAQ up about 40 at 24,871. And the S&P is back and forth today, currently 7 points in the green at 71.72. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
The Brewers kind of walked off the plank with the Pirates, didn't they? It's 105, sports, traffic, and weather next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 106 right now.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about in my clinic kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
You should be listening to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty each weekday.
This is a deep cut. I like this song. I'm gonna buy this song, so tell me what it is.
Nobody does it like McFarlane. It's AI generated 90s R&B featuring our favorite Chief Washington correspondent. It's you, buddy.
But if you missed us, catch up anytime with our Wisconsin's Midday News podcast, powered by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
Struggling to provide for your family is a real thing, like having to choose between feeding them a warm meal or paying the utility bill. These are the choices many Milwaukee residents are faced with, which is why they turn to St. Vincent de Paul Society's meal program for help. Our meal program has been a consistent resource for those in need for over 42 years. Nutritious meals, warm showers, and clean clothes, all in a safe, family-friendly environment. Our mission is clear, and that's to help you break the cycle of poverty by connecting you with life-changing community and educational resources. Last year, we provided $2.2 million in goods and services, plus 57,000 warm meals. If you or anyone you know needs a warm evening meal, you can find us at Harambe Kitchen 5 nights a week on the northeast side of Milwaukee in the basement of All People's Church. And at Crossroads Kitchen on the south side of Milwaukee 6 nights a week on 9th and Madison. As always, we're grateful for community members and volunteers who help us help you. To learn more, visit svdpmilw.org.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Packers entered the NFL Draft with 8 selections. They ended up selecting 6 players over the course of 3 days. GM Brian Gutekunst traded 2 7th-rounders to select kicker Trey Smack in the 6th round. Packers now have 3 kickers on the roster.
What we did to move up to get him, obviously we think very highly of him. We think he has a very good chance to succeed in this league. But we did it with honors as well, So I mean, it's that's part of this, and we'll kind of see how it goes.
Next up on the NFL's off-season schedule, the release of the regular season schedule. That'll be sometime in May. Brewers dropped 2 of 3 to the Pirates, but they salvaged the final game of the series behind 12 strikeouts from starter Kyle Harrison in a 5-0 win. The homestand continues Tuesday night against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have 2 brand new crashes here, happened just minutes ago. 41-894 north at the ramp from Lincoln Avenue. The left lane is blocked due to a crash. The roads are wet. Definitely take your time. I do see in this particular crash, there is already an emergency responder at the scene with lights on. Traffic is heavy, though, so the backups are going to continue here for a little bit yet. That's 41-894 north at the ramp from Lincoln Avenue. We've got a brand new crash there. Also, one more crash. Let me zip on over to this one here. This just happened as well. The ramp from 4194 North to 4143 West, the right shoulder is blocked due to a crash in that case. I don't see any emergency responders out on this one yet. Let me check another camera for you here. Interestingly enough, hard to see in some of these cameras because the rain. Definitely have water droplets on these cameras. I don't see emergency responders out there yet. This one does not look to be as bad. But we do have 2 new crashes. I'll keep you posted when those clear, and hopefully no more pop up.
Rain likely today and a couple rounds of it. You could see a little bit of drying between 2 or 3 o'clock in southeastern Wisconsin, but another round of storms is behind that. How severe? Good question. Lauren Larson joins us coming up in about 25 minutes. High of 60 today, overnight low 49. Tomorrow's high 62 under partly cloudy skies. It's 50 and rainy in Milwaukee at 110.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Yeah, round 1 of the rain didn't yield any warnings or watches, which is good news. I don't know what round 2 is going to bring. It shows a pretty good size storm system developing. Who knows? But everything we've gone through over the last couple of weeks, I feel like we've been pretty much through it all.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, yes, we did make it through the morning without any severe weather, but could that change tonight? Our friends over at Storm Team 4 say it all depends on how long this rain lasts and when the cold front moves in. Over the weekend, more than a dozen tornadoes blew through parts of the plains. CBS meteorologist Rob Marciano with a look ahead.
The real threat's going to be the threat for seeing tornadoes that could be strong and long-lasting, and that would include places like Paducah, St. Louis, Springfield, Peoria, even up towards Chicago through about the dinner hours. So we'll be watching them very carefully. I think today is going to be a dangerous day.
When it comes to the Badger State, the greatest chance for severe weather later today is for southwest Wisconsin and towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border. But new intel is coming in now from the National Weather Service, and it looks like we might end up dodging any severe weather altogether. That would be great news. We'll keep our fingers crossed. We certainly had enough severe weather earlier this month. And TMJ4 meteorologist Lauren Larson will join us coming up at 1:37, so she will have an exact update on the timing and whether we have nixed this possibility altogether of severe weather.
Well, number 2, a barrier once considered unachievable has now been shattered twice.
A record 59,000 people started Sunday's 2026 London Marathon. Precisely 26.2 miles and 1 hour, 59 minutes and 30 seconds later, Sebastian Sawe of Kenya crossed the finish line, the first person ever to run the distance in an officially sanctioned marathon in less than 2 hours. Just 11 seconds behind him, Yomif Kejelcha of Ethiopia became the second person to break the 2-hour barrier. It was his first marathon ever. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
This is like a Mars landing for human endurance. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. As a former track and field athlete in college who intentionally was not a cross-country athlete in college, this is absolutely mind-boggling what these men are able to do. A 4:33 mile, you're going to do pretty well and likely qualify for the state meet if you're in high school at certain divisions. Now try doing that 26 times over.
That is unbelievable.
What? God.
Was it the 4-minute mile that was incredible if you could do that?
Yeah, that was Roger Bannister back in the day, right? Breaking the 4-minute mile. Holy cow, how'd that happen? Jim Ryan was a high schooler that did it. That was crazy. A sub 2-hour marathon. So think about this. So your treadmill at home, mine tops out at 12.
My treadmill at home.
Well, if those have a treadmill at home. If you're a treadmill runner, you'll understand this, right? Mine tops out at 12. Can't go any more than 12. And that literally is miles per hour. The runner, the guy who won this, Sawe, averaged over 13 miles per hour running for nearly 2 hours. So if you're a treadmill person, crank up your treadmill to number 13. Most end at 12, by the way, and see how far you get. I'm going to guess it's not 26.2 miles.
I'm a trail person, not a treadmill person. I like to get out there. I like to walk. I like to do that. But just to give you an idea of my speed, this is on a bike. But my husband has once told a story about somebody on the Oak Leaf Trail jogging a little bit faster than I was
Then you're
biking.
you're out enjoying nature. Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
It is. It's beautiful out there, and I think maybe for a hot second that was the case. But I've got a hybrid now, and I can be pretty speedy.
Okay, so that is a good point of comparison, though. You think about this: could you bike 26.2 miles in under 2 hours? Probably, but I'm going to say that's an accomplishment. Like that, you're working to do that, especially if you got some hills in the way. Sawe ran the second half of the race faster than the first. That's called a negative split. And then, 11 seconds behind him was another guy, also under 2 hours. So Sawe proved to be, I guess, the rabbit, compelling the other runner to also achieve an unbelievable time. Crazy.
Sawe, way to go. Number 3, college students are increasingly trying to AI-proof their futures.
A recent poll by the Harvard Kennedy School says 70% of college students see artificial intelligence as a threat to their job prospects. Some say it feels like a moving target, but others say they're looking to do whatever they can to help them stay employed amid a rapidly changing future. One college freshman at Miami University, Ohio, says you don't just need to be able to code, you need to be able to form human relationships and think critically, because at the end of the day, those are the skills AI can't replace. A recent University of Chicago grad says people who know how to use AI and teach others how to will be in strong demand. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Coming up next, the suspect in the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner expected to be arraigned this afternoon in federal court in Washington, D.C. What are the charges here? We'll go through it with ABC's investigative reporter Peter Haralambous after this.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery, right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. Their gorgeous showroom is the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor or designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWY.com or stop in today.
Oh, it's a great weekend at the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls. It's our go-to place for dog boarding, grooming services, and daycare. It's also a great place just to hang out. So every Sunday is a family day at the Hounds and Tap. So you see kids and families hanging out with their dogs in that indoor-outdoor tavern. Commonly, there's a food truck on site. Might be able to catch the ball game and a nice cold drink as well. They had a blood drive yesterday, which by the looks of it, as we drove by, looked to be going great. We were in between soccer matches. We drove by the Hounds and Tap, and it looked like a great crowd. You can hang out with your dog or drop your dog off. Top-tier services are available for your dog at the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls. Wonderful people. They love for you to hang out or drop the dog off for daycare or boarding. Want a full-on spa day? You can do that as well. 12,000 square feet, designed for dogs, humans. You're going to have a lot of fun, too. Connect with the Hounds and Tap. Check them out online at thehoundsandtap.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at accunet.com.
Treat your mother to Mineshaft Restaurant's all-you-can-eat, super affordable Mother's Day brunch. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat free. The Wednesday and Friday haddock fish fry is all you can eat and under $9. The Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford. Google and reserve today.
Remember those old commercials that said, "Hey, you got chocolate in my peanut butter"?
Oh, yeah.
Replace chocolate with memory foam and peanut butter with Coil Springs, and you get a weird tasting candy bar?
You get Penny Mustard's exclusive line of double-sided hybrid mattresses.
A flippable hybrid mattress with specialty foam and a supportive coil spring center.
And they're 100% chocolate and peanut butter free.
Revolutionary double-sided hybrid mattresses, only at Penny Mustard.
PennyMustard.com.
Well, it's a wet afternoon here in Milwaukee, and rain is expected back later tonight. So after it goes away, it'll come back. Eventually, it'll move out over Lake Michigan and to the north and the east as the storm is tracking. Overnight low 49 degrees. Tomorrow's high 62 under partly cloudy skies. It's 50 and rainy in Milwaukee at 118. Cole Thomas Allen, a 31-year-old from Torrance, California, who worked part-time as a teacher and a video game developer, is due in court today, 2 days after charging through a security screening at the D.C. Hilton, looking to shoot up the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We welcome an ABC investigative reporter, Peter Haralambous. Peter, before we get into Allen's background, is it clear what charges will be brought against him?
At this point, we understand he's facing 2 counts of using a firearm and also 1 count of assault on an officer. Those are already serious charges, but it appears likely that prosecutors could bring a superseding indictment, bringing new charges once this investigation continues. Of course, this investigation is only about 36 to 48 hours old, so we'll see. He's due, though, in court today. He's facing these charges. He's expected to enter a plea. At the moment, it's unclear if he has a lawyer or not.
Investigators are now digging into the background of this 31-year-old man from California. What have they learned so far about who Cole Allen is and where his motivation might have come from?
Yeah, and part of this is a bit of a mystery in terms of how this background led him to commit allegedly such heinous act. But, he's someone who graduated from Caltech, someone who just got a master's degree, actually, and who's been working as a tutor in Torrance, California. In his spare time, he codes video games. His friends and family kind of responded to this with shock. They did not see him as someone who might be up to this. In fact, some of his students described him as actually a rather good tutor, but law enforcement sources say that, he left a detailed manifesto, is what they're calling it, but writings that effectively walked through what he was planning to do, trying to inflict mass harm, going from the most high profile to the least profile, high-profile cabinet members. He said in these writings allegedly that he was willing to intentionally even harm guards and the actual guests if that was what was necessary to actually get to those administration targets. And in that letter, he referred to himself as a friendly federal assassin, sources said. So they're really saying that he's someone who became radicalized and was really trying to do mass harm.
A tutor, trained engineer from Caltech. He interned at NASA in 2014, Peter. And then this manifesto indicates that somewhere along the line he became an extremist. He was radicalized. Were there any warning signs of this kind of behavior, scouring the dark web or any of one of those groups that exists?
Yeah, reportedly he was politically active on one of his social media accounts, a Blue Sky account. Blue Sky confirms that account has been taken down, but in that post he was basically talking about how he was frustrated with the Trump administration's policies, particularly the war with Iran, decreased support for Ukraine, and also increased ICE immigration enforcement. So Blue Sky confirms that account has been taken down, but that's really the extent to which online he appeared to have been politically involved. Otherwise, it seems like he was a relatively quiet person, did not send off any clear warning signs. In fact, when his family members got those alleged writings, 2 of them reported him to authorities pretty immediately, though the message was only sent very shortly before he allegedly carried out this attack. He was staying at a hotel room inside the Washington Hilton. He apparently ran down 10 flights of stairs and tried to sprint past security. Ultimately, he was tackled before he could get that close to the actual ballroom. He basically had a few feet away, had to go down a flight of stairs, and then it would have been in this really cavernous ballroom where the White House Correspondents' Dinner was taking place.
He obviously planned this. I mean, and it's easy to figure out when and where the White House Correspondents' Dinner is, but it wasn't like he was close. He had to travel. He had to get the weapons. What do we know about his travel plans and the weapons he had? Because it wasn't just one.
That's a great question. So he was storing these weapons at his parents' house. They were unaware that he had these weapons. We're talking about a handgun, a shotgun, and also a bunch of knives. And he traveled across the country by train from California to Chicago, then Chicago to New York. He checked in at the Hilton itself on Friday night, one day before the actual dinner. And in these alleged writings, he actually talked about how shocked he was that there wasn't actually any kind of security in place. Said he was expecting much more in terms of the security presence, and he was shocked that basically he wasn't really checked. There wasn't security to actually check into the hotel room. Of course, there was security outside the dinner itself, outside that ballroom, but otherwise he was kind of talking about just how utterly surprised he was by how easy it was to get into the hotel. And it's really raising new alarms about the security of this dinner. The president, of course, using this incident to press for his ballroom, saying that it's necessary now, considering this high-profile security incident, though at the end of the day, it's unclear if the White House Correspondents' Dinner would ever even be hosted in that White House ballroom when it's constructed.
Peter, do you know if they've done a thorough search of his hotel room to locate potential additional ammunition, firearms, explosives, things of that nature?
Yeah, they've carried out searches in D.C. and in of his family's home out in California. The law enforcement also did search warrants for his electronic devices. They're going through those. And it kind of goes to how early we are in this investigation. Only 48 hours later, there's really not that much investigatively that's been done compared to a standard, law enforcement federal investigation. So it seems like they're certainly going to come upon more information as this investigation progresses, and kind of goes back to this idea that these charges, in a way, are preliminary. These are the first things they could get to stick. It's possible that they come back with more additional charges once they learn more about the planning, his motive. Though for now, the acting attorney general is describing this as basically a foiled lone wolf attack.
The president says he wants to reschedule the correspondence dinner in the next 30 days here. There is mixed reaction among the journalists as to whether they desire that, but from a security standpoint, how likely is this?
With the president being insistent, and he's repeatedly said this. He, in fact, wanted to go back to the dinner after the attack was foiled. It seems like if there's enough determination on behalf of the president, on behalf of the White House Correspondents Association, it is feasible, of course, with increased security. And I think there's going to have to be a overall rethinking of how to approach security at a hotel. This is a massive hotel in Washington, D.C. We're talking about more than 1,000 rooms, thousands of square feet of conference space. For years, that has never been a problem. We looked back through the history of the White House Correspondents Association dinner. There has never been a security incident comparable to this. So historically, it's never been a problem. But now that we have seen kind of the vulnerability of that space, it seems like there's going to be an overall rethinking of security in order to do this again.
ABC's Peter Haralambous. That was great insight, Peter. Thanks so much.
Peter.
Thanks so much, guys.
And just in, that suspect, 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen, is now charged. He is charged with 3 counts, including attempted assassination of the president. The max sentence for that is life in prison if convicted. The other 2 counts are, and I asked him about transportation because, he had to plan this, and he came from California, right? So transportation is included in this. The second count is transportation of a firearm and ammunition across state lines with intent to commit a felony. The third charge is discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence. Cole Allen, by the way, did not enter a plea. He's got a detention hearing, it looks like, scheduled for Thursday, and he will be temporarily detained until then. It's possible it looks like he's being represented by federal public defenders, and they may ask that he be released until trial because he has no prior arrest record and is, of course, presumed innocent until proven guilty, but we'll see what a judge has to say about that.
126 news coming up.
3 people, 3 different kinds of joint pain, 1 decision to do something about it. The solution, not surgery. It was QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
I wanted to use my own body to hopefully regenerate and get rid of that pain. So it's been 3 months and my back is significantly better.
The pain in my knees was pretty severe, so I came here, and even after the first treatment, I noticed an incredible difference. If you have pain in any part of your body, this is the place to go.
I couldn't go to the gym anymore, and I couldn't play with my grandkids. That's why I made the decision to come here to QC Kinetics, and it was the best decision that I ever made for my own health. This works. Don't do surgery.
Finally, relief for 3 real patients. Lives transformed through QC Kinetics non-surgical treatments. Your story could be next. Call for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. If you got a busted garage door, don't let it get you down. Give my friends at Geist a call today. They've got wonderful inventory, just an amazing selection, and great brands like CHI and LiftMaster in stock and ready to go for you. Doors for every budget. They'll even go custom for you to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, check out GeistDoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom. It's in Brookfield, and it's right off Barker Road. Hundreds of doors and openers, that custom design area. You'll see what I'm talking about with a visit to Geist. Don't think twice. Call Geist and visit GeistDoors.com.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does, because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. you do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
A huge month of Brewers baseball kicks off with a battle against the Yankees Friday, May 8th through Sunday, May 10th. Catch the crew for half off with Wisconsin First Friday game tickets on Friday the 8th. Plus, Mother's Day Sunday is the perfect game to bring the whole family with new kids experiences every Sunday. Plus, the first 10,000 fans over the age of 21 get a Brewers picnic blanket at the Mother's Day game, courtesy of American Family Insurance. Score your tickets at Brewers.com.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Berghardt.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzik. Your top story, getting ready for round 2 of wet weather.
I'm Jessica Ty. A plea now in from the tour bus driver who caused a nasty crash.
Now, round 1 of the rain should be clearing out here in the next hour or so. Storms again possible tonight. High of 60, low of 49.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Mike Tobuski. Cole Allen has been charged with 3 counts of trying to assassinate the president, with a hearing wrapping up just moments ago. ABC Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas was in the room.
Very calm. He was in a blue jail jumpsuit. Again, extremely calm, very respectful as a judge, answering questions. Yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. What took place in terms of as a matter of business is that he's scheduled for a detention hearing this coming Thursday, in which the government will make a motion that he should be held for the entirety pending trial.
Allen allegedly rushed security at the White House Correspondents' Dinner this weekend while armed with guns and knives. No one was seriously injured in the incident. Sources now say Allen appears to have shared posts that were critical of the Trump administration on the social media platform Blue Sky in recent weeks. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. As showers and storms move across southeastern Wisconsin, there is still a slight chance for severe weather later tonight. National Weather Service meteorologist Kevin Wagner.
Still have to keep an eye out for that corridor to the west this afternoon and evening, see if a few storms kind of develop. But again, more isolated, scattered coverage than we were previously expecting.
And round 2 of the storms could arrive around 7 o'clock, last until 10. We'll get further details from Lauren Larson, TMJ4 meteorologist, coming up in about 5 minutes.
The driver involved in a bus crash up in Green Bay that injured dozens of people pleads not guilty. 37-year-old Gabri Figueroa faces multiple felony charges tied to last month's crash. More than 40 people were hurt when the tour bus went off an exit ramp and down an embankment. Figueroa previously told investigators the brakes in the bus failed. Prosecutors say he was driving without a license after it was revoked in 2017.
Officers recover multiple weapons and arrest over 3 dozen during the Mifflin Street block party.
Police found 6 guns in total, 4 at the event and 2 more on State Street. 37 people were arrested by 7 p.m. Saturday night, mostly for alcohol or fighting. 2 officers were injured while breaking up those fights. 1 was taken to the hospital. About 15 to 20,000 people attended the celebration. Police say it's the largest crowd they've seen in years. Jen Gregg, WTMJ News.
Mitchell International Airport in Milwaukee launches a new service to improve accessibility for travelers.
It uses the IRA app to connect deaf and hard of hearing passengers with a live ASL interpreter on demand. Henri Grau, director of community engagement with ASL, told WTMJ through his interpreter.
There are lots of different tutorials through videos that folks can watch, and I can actually send it to our connections here, like Howard, and that way he can share it with the staff as well. And these tutorials are great to have comprehensive access to the app.
The service is available throughout the entire airport and can be used for everything from checking bags to ordering food or getting flight information. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee is the first airport in Wisconsin to offer the service for free.
Marcus Sedbury is still settling in as the interim athletic director at the University of Wisconsin after the surprise departure of Chris McIntosh earlier this month. With the university losing its AD and chancellor in just a few months' time, Sedbury says he hopes to provide some stability in his new role.
I think there's been a lot of really good things that have happened, a lot of successes, also areas we all know that we want to get better. And I'm committed to, for as long as I'm in the role, helping us move forward in those different ways and excited about the opportunities that exist before us.
Sedbury has been with the UW Athletic Department since 2022.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Car Edge. The stress of car buying is finally a thing of the past. Car Edge negotiates with local dealerships for you, keeping your personal info private. With an average of 20 plus years of dealership experience, Car Edge experts know every trick in the book, saving you time and money. No sales calls, no wasted hours playing games at a dealership, just the best deal on the car you want. WTMJ fans get 20% off. Call 414-667-7413 or visit caredge.com/WTMJ for a free no obligation consultation today.
Hey, remember when your basement was just for storage? WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. With Matrix Basement Finishing, they turn that empty space into the heart of your home. It's what they did for us. Whether it's a cozy family movie night or cheering on your favorite team during the best time of the year to watch sports. From the design consultation to picking out your perfect flooring and fixtures, the process is seamless and done at your home. Get the quality craftsmanship you deserve with no payments until 2028. And visit matrixbasements.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
Give me an extra large deep dish pepperoni.
Hasselus doesn't sell pizza. We sell mattresses for way less.
Do I need a coupon?
No, sir. Others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Queen Elm Cove A mattress for $1,459. But Hasselus has it for just $794.
Running any specials?
Through Monday, save an additional $248 on a new Beauty Rest or Sealy Posturepedic just for shopping local.
Do you deliver?
Free next day delivery.
I'm really hungry.
Hasselus.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Hey, Mother's Day is almost here. Just think how much your mother means to you. WTMJ's John Mercure. I highly recommend the Mother's Day All You Care to Eat brunch at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. It's one of the most special family dining events of the year. I love this. It's every dish your mom loves for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, including prime rib and an entire room of desserts. Kids and grandkids under 3, eat for free. Celebrate your mother with a Bloody Mary, a mimosa, or choose from 100 wines from around the world in the 8 old world-style dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167 near the Holy Hill Shrine. The spring drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest is spectacular. Wherever you live, it's worth the drive to the Fox and Hounds for the magnificent Mother's Day All You Care to Eat brunch, serving from 9 a.m. to 6, a Top Choice Award winner for Best Sunday Brunch. Bring your mom, bring your grandma, bring your daughters. Google, call, and reserve today. Tables fill quickly. Don't forget your mom. It's the Fox and Hounds.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. The Packers entered the NFL Draft with 8 selections. They ended up selecting 6 players over the course of 3 days, including a kicker. GM Brian Gutekunst trading 2 7th-round picks to move up into the 6th round to select kicker Trey Smack.
What we did to move up to get him, obviously we think very highly of him. We think he has a very good chance to succeed in this league. But we did it with honors as well, So I mean, it's that's part of this, and we'll kind of see how it goes.
Next up on the NFL's off-season schedule, the release of the regular season schedule expected sometime in May. The Brewers dropped 2 of 3 to the Pirates, but salvaged the final game behind 12 strikeouts from starter Kyle Harrison, a 5-0 win Sunday afternoon. The homestand continues Tuesday night against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Give yourself a little bit extra time. Be careful. The roads are wet. Bottom line, the roads are wet, and I'm starting to see more crashes. So heads up. Not saying for sure that this is due to the wet roads, but certainly the wet roads are having an impact on driving right now. The newest crash I-43 North at 145 Fond du Lac Avenue. The right lane is blocked because of that one. And as I take a peek at the cameras here, oh yeah, traffic is just slowly creeping by that. So I-43 North at 145 Fond du Lac Avenue, that is crash number 1. We also have a crash. I'm going to zoom over here to the Brookfield area. See if that one is indeed still there. Okay, so we've got this one. Actually, this one just happened 10 minutes ago. I-94 West at the ramp from Moreland Road. The right shoulder is blocked due to this crash. And this is a new one since we joined you last. So I just pulled up the cameras to take a peek at this one for you. And it looks like it's almost out of view. Oh, they just turned the camera angle. So definitely the backups are beginning. They're going to be significant on this one. It's a busy spot right now, but I can actually see off in the distance, it looks like one of the cars involved in this crash went off of the interstate and is now off to the side in the grass. Emergency responders are there now, but there's a lot of traffic. So heads up in the Brookfield area, I-94 West at the ramp from Moreland Road. We have a new crash there, and that is not the only one. Let me take a peek at what else we have going on. Yep, and then this one is still there as well. Not too far from Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport, the ramp from 4194 North to 4143 West. Right lane blocked there also because of a crash.
All right, so you were out and about a little bit yesterday. Did you experience a sunny day in downtown Milwaukee?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because it was cloudy and kind of just felt a little dreary, maybe dank. Do you use that word?
I do sometimes.
Because where did
I
I
like
get that
word.
from? I don't usually use it, but that seems like it kind of described it. But then all of a sudden, finally in the afternoon, the sun came out. It was beautiful. And when we got back home, we actually sat out on the patio. The sun was shining, and it felt so good. It felt warm downtown.
Okay, so I need Lauren Larson, our TMJ meteorologist friend, to walk me through what happened yesterday because I'm doing yard work. I'm outside, Lauren. Nice sunny day. We live out in the Menominee Falls, Brookfield, Sussex, kind of where all those three come together. And I'm doing some yard work, and the sun is coming down. It's 55 degrees, right? I had to shed a layer. Like, it's nice out here, nice and toasty. My daughter had a soccer game at 11:45 at Uline Soccer Park. So that's 71st and Good Hope. That is not downtown. That is not really lake effect in my world. It was like 49 and cloudy with like a weird foggy haze. Like it was cold. And then as soon as we got back home, we experienced the weather that we had just left. So it was very strange, Lauren. I don't know what the specific thing was that kind of set up this wall, but it was cloudy on one side and kind of a nice sunny day on the other.
Yeah, that's interesting. Was there a big time period between, or when did you leave for the game and then get home from the game?
Yeah, so we left for the game at about 10 minutes to 11, nice and sunny where we live.
Okay.
We got to, as we're driving east, it was like, was it going to rain? Like, it didn't look very nice. And it, like I said, 49, cloudy, and kind of chilly at the game. We get in our car, drive away after about an hour and a half, and we're back into the sun of Menominee Falls, Brookfield. I didn't get it. It was very strange to me.
Yeah, I definitely think we are seeing some lake effect kind of with those cooler temperatures, with the cloudy skies, obviously not too close to the lake. But I spent my entire day yesterday in Milwaukee, and it really was cloudy and gray and drizzly throughout most of the morning. And then when I went to work, it obviously got nice and sunny, and that's when we had those warmer temperatures.
Hate when that happens, right?
It is so true because we actually chose our coffee shop, the coffee spot where we were going to go to downtown has two locations. And in my mind, we were going to the one that's closest to downtown, closest to us. And because it was dreary, this one is cozy and it's kind of warm. And I thought, this just feels appropriate. My husband, in his mind, was going to the Third Ward one. And he said, oh, we can go back to the other one. I said, no, that's okay. It's just that one, it's a little cooler. So when it's dreary and kind of cold outside, you don't want to go to a location that feels cold. So I thought the cozy one would be more comfortable. So anyways, we ended up at the cold one. It was a little cold as you sat down on the chairs. It is what it is. But it's funny because if you think about how you're making choices, so then we did some grocery shopping. We came back, and that's when it was sunny and beautiful. We sat outside on the patio and then had a glass of white wine because the sun was shining down. In Lauren, it felt like it was, I don't know what the actual temperature was, but when you have the sun and it's beating on you, it definitely felt warm. It felt good, but it was not like that earlier.
Yeah, I also think maybe this is just me, but I think a lot of us have kind of shed that winter skin. Now that we've had a few days in the 70s and 80s, when we're back in the 50s, it's feeling pretty chilly.
Okay, Lauren, so I know we want to focus on today as well, and I think you're going to have some good news for us because earlier we were concerned. We've got the rain out there and wet roads, but we were concerned about the possibility of severe weather tonight. But it sounds like maybe that's changing. What can you tell us? Is there still any possibility that any of our fans see severe weather later today?
Yeah, I do still think there's a chance we see severe weather. It's always important when we are still in that kind of marginal risk to keep an eye on the sky, on the radar, make sure you're in tune with what's going on outside. That being said, the good news is the forecast is dramatically different from 24 hours ago. We were in that level 3 enhanced risk across parts of southeast Wisconsin, and now we're in the level 1 marginal risk. We had some storms in Missouri and Illinois that kind of choked out some of the warmth that was headed our way, took some of the energy out, and of course it's still cloudy and rainy right now. We were kind of expecting a little bit of a sunny period into the afternoon to kind of reset that energy. And I don't think we're really going to have that. So bottom line, stay weather aware. I am still ready and expecting to, potentially have a few warnings pop up, but overall the risk is a lot lower. If we do have those warnings, the risk for tornadoes is a lot lower, maybe some hail, maybe some gusty winds. And of course, we don't need any more rain. So as we have more rain in store for us, flooding should come front of mind too.
Well, definitely, right? It's got some fields and some areas here in southeastern Wisconsin that the water really hasn't receded back to kind of its normal level. So something to watch out to be sure. Is today the only day, Lauren, that we're really concerned with any rain?
Yeah, there's a small chance we see some showers on Wednesday. But besides that, the next 6 days look to be just really mild. Partly cloudy skies. There's no day that's better than another day. Temperatures will be a few degrees below average. But for the most part, once we get through today, you can expect the week to be dry.
And I'm looking at Friday, mostly sunny. The sun will come back. It always comes back at some point. Okay, all right. What's your pick day of the week then?
Oh, my pick day of the week.
It depends if you're going by the temperature or the sunny skies, I bet, with this week.
I think it's safe to go Friday. Most people in a good mood love a Friday. Like you said, mostly sunny skies. And when we see those temperatures in the mid to low 50s this time of year, it's not something to complain about.
Good choice. Friday's always a good choice, Greg.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Lauren. We'll check in again.
Lauren. Yeah, absolutely. Bye, guys.
And take care. 146 here on WTMJ. Reminder, coming up at about 2:35. So Stephen Portnoy, ABC correspondent, who covers all things in the nation's capital. He's joined us many times on this program. He was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He was a guest in the crowd, and he was there. And he's got a story to tell us. That
he heard the gunfire.
Yes, absolutely. So his perspective, I think, is a very unique one. Everybody inside of that area. It's a massive ballroom, but one of 2,600 or so. Stephen was one of them. He'll share his perspective coming up at about 2:35. It's 1:47.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
Well, after a long weekend of running around, doing fun stuff with the family, we settled into the basement last night and just sort of relaxed. Caught up in some TV shows that we like. We love watching Survivor with the kids. They're big into it, so we watch it together. We do it in the basement, as expertly crafted by Matrix Basement Finishing. Our basement was a project we had been looking to do for a number of years, but we didn't really know where to start. We did quite a bit of research, and all of our arrows pointed to Matrix. Why? Because they only do basements. That's it. They're not trying to finish a subdivision or a housing project. It's all about the lower level with Matrix. They had a ton of 5-star reviews. That grabbed our attention. And then after we had the free design consultation at our home, we got a real good sense for what that final project could look like. Matrix comes to you in the process. They came to us. We did a lot right at our kitchen table. What are you waiting for here? Book now and no payments till 2028 on that lower level that you've been dying to have remodeled. Matrix Basement can do it for you. They did it for us. Wonderful people, on-time schedule, one point of contact. You've got a dedicated field manager that spells it all out for you. 11 weeks was our project. Amazing work. Let me personally connect you with Matrix Basement Finishing.
Are you or a loved one facing addiction? The Wisconsin Addiction Recovery Helpline offers free and confidential support 24/7. Powered by 211 Wisconsin, local trained specialists can help connect you with local service providers for treatment, peer support, harm reduction tools, and more. Call 211, text your zip code to 898-211, or chat at 211wisconsin.org. Help is waiting. Sponsored by United Way of Wisconsin.
We know that the people of Milwaukee are hard workers, that they're tough. But even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Everyone wants us to build an awesome backyard space. The trend has been people asking about how they'll use the space. The requests are, we want an outdoor space to relax and read, for yoga, a fitness area, to watch baseball on TV, and my latest and favorite, can you build me a golf simulator? Yes to all of it. We can build that covered structure for any of your dream ideas. We'll be creative and make it look amazing. You get to enjoy the space any way you want, getting fit, relaxing, or hitting a driver literally off your deck. For that amazing outdoor space, go to OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
MW Marine.
Fishing season kicks off this weekend. Are you ready to hit the water? Stop into MW Marine and check out the brand new 2026 Lund, Ranger, and Vexus boats, all powered by Mercury Outboards. Start your boat shopping now and lock in a great deal so you're ready when summer hits. MW Marine takes trades, offers full boat service, plus outdoor storage to keep your rig in top shape. Call now to schedule a private appointment or stop in today. MW Marine.
Before I moved to Capri Communities, my daughter spent more time helping me with chores than enjoying our visits. Now, when she comes over, we go to concerts, enjoy delicious meals, and participate in great activities that are always happening. I choose senior living so that our time together can be about fun, not fixing things. And I love the freedom it gives me every day.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again. Get started today at capricommunities.com.
A lot of discussion about how AI could help those in the future who are impaired in a variety of different ways. There's a new pair of AI-powered smart glasses designed to help blind and partially sighted individuals navigate the world. So think about this. A camera, you're wearing these glasses, takes images, and distance sensors measure the space in front of the wearer and will also detect obstacles in the way. You've got microphones, you've got speakers that will allow conversation back and forth, which uses AI to convert visuals into practical information, like figuring out where you are and then giving directions if you're trying to go get a coffee or maybe the post office or something along that line. David Shirksdale developed the glasses from his own experience.
Those glasses are equipped with lots of sensors which can help visually impaired and blind again navigate and live life independently.
So think about the Waymo vehicles or even a car like a Tesla, the autonomous vehicles that drive around parts of our country. Take that technology, that world of spinning sensors that allows Waymo to navigate a crosswalk or get through a roundabout successfully, merge into traffic, whatever the case may be, avoid collision with anything. Put them into the power of glasses and now put them on an individual walking through the streets or a neighborhood.
I don't know all the details because I didn't read the whole thing over the weekend, but I did skim it. And there's this woman. She has about 10% useful vision. And she only started running last year, but she is now preparing to run the London Marathon with her boyfriend as her guide using AI-powered smart glasses.
Wow.
I think they were Oakley Meta glasses to help her navigate and track her progress. And this is something that she never thought in a million years she would be able to do. Now she's like running past Buckingham Palace during training, and she's closing in on her goal.
So AI is going to help make these devices more personalized, I think, over time. It'll really be intuitive. It'll be designed for you, the user. We talk about prompts in ChatGPT, and you can kind of create ChatGPT. You can create an agent that understands how our show operates and how we spit out a rundown and a plan and good guest ideas and things like that. Well, you could take that technology and apply it to this sort of assistive technology for those who might be impaired, in this case, visually. It's fascinating. I've seen some things about a woman who was kind of nervous to drive. She was 93, and she ended up with a Tesla that has self-driving features. So her mind is sharp. She plugs in on the map where she wants to go, and the car essentially takes her there. There's some debate on whether that's the best use of that technology or not, if that's the right person to be behind the wheel. Nevertheless, that's case by case. But assistive technology is here for AI, not just coming. It's 1:54 on WTMJ. Wisconsin's Midday News podcast is built by Siding Unlimited. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe, and you will find our show hour by hour, segment by segment, populated each and every day from Gina. Also, come into our studio if you'd like. Wisconsin's Midday News is on YouTube. Check out our YouTube page and find us. Watch us up at our studio with us on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work.
Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation.
Search AXIS Legal today.
April is Sleep Awareness Month. Jessica Ty for Steinhoffels. Invest in the sleep your body deserves and get $300 in Steinhoffels cash with a Tempur-Pedic mattress purchase. At Steinhoffels, experience the unmatched comfort and support of Tempur-Pedic mattresses designed to adapt to your body and help you wake up feeling refreshed, because that's the best, right? Upgrade your sleep experience when you add a smart base that automatically adjusts to snoring, because better nights lead to better days. Celebrate Sleep Awareness Month and sleep better. Relax. It's Steinhoffels.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at ACCUNET.com.
Treat your mother to Mineshaft Restaurant's all-you-can-eat, super affordable Mother's Day brunch. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat free. The Wednesday and Friday haddock fish fry is all you can eat and under $9. The Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford. Google and reserve today. Amazon Business. Discover smart business buying, where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Trees on the Move and Abby Home. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. Yet at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce! Spruce! Spruce!
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees, when used as directed. Spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
In an overnight session, the U.S. Senate passed a $70 billion spending resolution to fund the Department of Homeland Security.
Eric Billstad.
An online extremist network known as 764 is gaining concerning momentum here locally.
And traffic with Debbie Loziga.
Got some delays southbound on 41, starting from Silver Spring all the way down to Capitol.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Amore,
frozen pizza. More toppings, more flavor. More is amore.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
Have you seen my husband?
No.
He's hot.
I'm sorry to hear that.
What?
Good news. Hasselus Mattress is home to a variety of cool gel mattresses, including Tempur-Pedic.
Okay, but...
And right now, get 48 months interest-free financing on Tempur-Pedic with approved credit. Plus, free next-day delivery and setup, free removal of your old mattress, and a $300 MasterCard gift card with your new Tempur-Pedic.
Wow, that's pretty hot.
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Amazon Business. With smart business buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Coming up on 2 o'clock, I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, April 27th. Your top story, back in custody after accidentally being released.
I'm Jessica Ty. A community-driven plan to address crime right here in Milwaukee.
Couple of rounds of rain today. Might see some drying or clearing, I should say, in the next hour or so, and then storms pop up again tonight, maybe between 7 and 10 o'clock. Keep an eye on the severity as the radar shows these could pack a punch, though there are no watches or warnings on the system, at least not yet. Overnight low 49 degrees with storms ending. Tuesday partly cloudy and a high of 62. It's 50 and rainy in Milwaukee at 2 o'clock. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a teenager charged in a deadly shooting in Milwaukee has been rearrested after he was mistakenly released over the weekend.
The 14-year-old boy was allegedly involved in the murder of 35-year-old David Krause. Krause was out celebrating 414 Day when he was shot and killed near 1st Street and Greenfield Avenue. Police say the incident was an attempted robbery and 3 teens were arrested. A spokesperson from Milwaukee County says he was taken back into custody Monday morning and, quote, the circumstances of the release are being investigated. Police are still seeking additional suspects. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Islamic Society of Milwaukee President Salah Sarsour remains optimistic as he's being held by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Sarsour has been detained in the Clay County Jail in Indiana for the last month. Congresswoman Gwen Moore visited him on Friday with concerns about his health.
Mr. Sarsour was very concerned about his mother. He is her primary caretaker. He was in good spirits, except for the discussion about his mother, where he appeared to be very, very concerned.
Moore says Sarsour appears thinner but had no major other concerns. Sarsour has an immigration hearing today.
A new community-driven plan is taking aim at crime on Milwaukee's south side.
The group Common Ground is rolling out a 5-point strategy focused on problem properties, stronger police relationships, and prevention efforts. Organizers say the plan comes after months of research and growing concerns about crime and safety in the area. It also highlights a lack of trust between some residents and police, something the group say needs to change in order to make the neighborhood safer. Several city and county leaders have signed on to the plan, though Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman has not. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
The president says the incident over the weekend at the Correspondents' Dinner justifies his argument for a White House ballroom. The Trump administration is urging the group that's suing over it to drop its case. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has that organization's response.
In a letter to the group that's filed the suit, a senior Justice Department lawyer says the ongoing fight over the ballroom puts the life of the president, his family, and staff at grave risk. An attorney for the National Trust for Historic Preservation responds, calling the administration's claim incorrect and irresponsible. The group says Congress still has to vote to authorize the ballroom project, which is what a federal judge has ruled. An appeals court panel has stayed that decision pending a hearing in early June, which now allows construction to continue.
So far, Congress has shown no interest in voting on the ballroom.
King Charles III arrives to kick off his 4-day tour of the United States, meeting with President Trump in D.C. shortly. News Nation's Marcus Espinosa reports several lawmakers in England's parliament called for the trip to be canceled.
President Trump has been taking a warm tone ahead of today's visit, calling Charles brave and praising him as a strong representative of his country. But behind the scenes, there's that tension there. The UK has been more cautious when it comes to the Iran war. And just days ago, an internal Pentagon memo reportedly floated plans to punish the UK and Spain for not supporting it.
King Charles will address Congress tomorrow. His mother, Queen Elizabeth II, was the only British monarch to previously do so back in 1991. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is fighting back here. It's still off about 45 points at 49,186. NASDAQ has given back some of its earlier gains, still up about 20 points at 24,853. And the S&P is up about 7 at 7172. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:04.
We'll make your ads potent, memorable, and effective. Whether it's radio, TV, billboards, or digital, our understanding of the market and long-standing relationships are unmatched. Anderson Smith represents a substantial amount of advertising billing, which will benefit you in getting much more for your ad dollar. Our compensation model is designed to make it affordable for businesses like yours to use us. And we hold on to our clients because what we do works, and they trust us. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. Too many times was I told, just go out there and sell something. Too many times did an advertiser buy just one package, only to be disappointed. I'll give it a try, they said. You know, I was just doing my job until I realized that job set a lot of people up for advertising failure. So we started Anderson Smith, and since then, we've retained many clients for over a decade and have been a valuable asset to their business because we're helping them rather than just selling them. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results.
What do you see? A duck or a rabbit?
Ben?
Look here. Do you see a vase or two faces looking at each other?
What are you doing?
Showing some of my favorite optical illusions.
Why?
To introduce our newest sofa.
Ah, yes. The new Russell apartment sofa.
Penny Mustard's greatest optical illusion yet.
How so?
The Russell appears to be the perfect pint-sized sofa to fit any small living space.
Yeah?
But behold, 3 adults can still easily sit together without feeling cramped.
No way.
Oh, ye of little faith. Arvid, you sit on this side of me.
Okay.
And Nicole, you sit here.
Fine.
See?
Wow, you're right. This sofa doesn't look big enough to hold all of us.
But it does.
It's pretty comfortable, too.
Seeing is believing.
You know this is radio, right?
Just squint your ears, you'll see it.
The new Russell apartment sofa, starting at $20.81 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The Packers make 6 selections in the NFL Draft. It's their fewest total since 2004. General Manager Brian Gutekunst explored the idea of trading, but ultimately decided not to pull the trigger.
I didn't think the opportunities to move back and add picks meant a lot of sense for us. And the times that we moved up, I thought it did. So I think it was just a unique year that way. But I do feel like we did some things with our roster that's given me some peace.
Packers have also agreed to terms with 11 undrafted free agents, all rookies expected to be in Green Bay for rookie minicamp in early May. The Brewers salvaged the final game of a 3-game series against the Pirates of the 5-0 win Sunday afternoon, 12 strikeouts for lefty starter Kyle Harrison. The homestand continues Tuesday night against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I think we are just minutes away from the crash out in Brookfield clearing. I-94 West at the ramp from Moreland Road. The right shoulder is blocked because of it. About 20 minutes ago or so, I could see one of the cars that was involved was actually off of the interstate in the grassy area off to the side. It looks like I just noticed as I was pulling up the cameras, that car is no longer in the grass, number one. Number two, looked like there was a tow truck out there with its lights on, and that is now out of view. So at least one of the cars involved has since been taken away. Looks like there's still one car off to the side, and possibly emergency responders look like they might be leaving as well right now. So I think we are just minutes away from that crash clearing, which would be good news. That's I-94 West at the ramp from Moreland Road. We do have a handful of disabled vehicles out on the system as well. We do have slowdowns, of course, in our construction areas. We're right around the ballpark on 94, also 4145 North, seeing that. And we have one other crash that has not cleared yet, I-43 North at 145 Fond du Lac Avenue. That is close to downtown. The right lane is blocked because of that one. I-43 North at Wisconsin 145 Fond du Lac Avenue.
Well, round one of the rain should be coming to an end before too long. It maybe already has in your part of the listening area here in southeastern Wisconsin. Round 2 coming later tonight, maybe around 7 o'clock. Some of those storms could be severe. Overnight low 49 after a high of 60. Tomorrow, Tuesday, high of 62 under partly cloudy skies. It's 50 and rainy in Milwaukee at 2:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Great to have you with us. It's 2:09 here on WTMJ. Greg and Jessica with you till 3 o'clock. Then Wisconsin's afternoon news. No Brewers game today. Homestand continues on Tuesday night.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, the man accused of plotting to attack the White House Correspondents' Dinner is now charged. 31-year-old Cole Allen made his first appearance in federal court in D.C. within the hour here. Allen faces 3 felony counts: attempted assassination of the President of the United States, transportation of a firearm and ammunition over state lines with the intent to commit a felony, and discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence. ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas was inside the courtroom.
Very calm. He was in a blue jail jumpsuit. Again, extremely calm, very respectful of the judge, answering questions. Yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. What took place in terms of as a matter of business is that he's scheduled for a detention hearing this coming Thursday, in which the government will make a motion that he should be held for the entirety pending trial.
Meanwhile, the White House press secretary was just asked whether the president will limit his public appearances moving forward. Here's what she had to say.
The president wants to be out across the country. He wants to go across the country to meet with Americans. He wants to celebrate the 250th birthday of our nation's anniversary this summer. As you know, we're gearing up for a big UFC fight here on the South Lawn. So there's many exciting events I know the president wants to be part of and will be part of moving forward.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy was inside that room Saturday night. He heard the shots and quickly took cover under the table. Portnoy joins us coming up at 2:37 here today. He will describe the frightening moments and address the security concerns. And Portnoy has great perspective, in part because he was there, of course, but also because just a few years ago, he was president of the White House Correspondents Association and in charge of coordinating that dinner at that very location.
Well, number 2, talks between the United States and Iran are stalled as Iran's foreign minister meets with Russian President Vladimir Putin today. The Trump administration has long maintained that they want to prevent Iran from developing a nuclear weapon, and they've made it their non-negotiable in discussions, but the Iranians have not agreed to that position since the Joint Cooperative Plan of Action, which was the nuclear deal signed during the Obama administration that President Trump pulled out of his first term. The blockade on the Strait of Hormuz is still in place. Iranians are implementing a blockade of their own. Aaron David Miller is a Middle East analyst and senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace.
We're nowhere. And there's only 2 options. Number 1, both sides compromise. The Iranians open the straits. The president removes the blockade. 30 to 45-day period to test whether or not a negotiation is possible. Alternatively, we drift into what is going to be escalation, both on the part of the administration and on the part of the generals calling the shots in Tehran.
Meanwhile, our friends at GasBuddy.com are suggesting that prices for gas in Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin expected to surge significantly this week. And Patrick Tejada is warning of a possible jump between 25 and 65 cents per gallon within the next 72 hours. Based upon what's happening globally. Yeah, we're getting closer to summertime, summer blend time, too. I'm not sure exactly when that kicks in, but that's another cost driver here in southeastern Wisconsin.
Use those gas points you get at the grocery store. Now's the time to use them.
I need a lot of them. Yeah, my goodness. It is 2:12 in WTMJ.
Hey, better. Swing into Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee for the $300,000 Big League Series. Just play with your rewards card over 3 months to earn entries. Here's the lineup. Leading off April, on deck May, in the hole June. All monthly entries you earn will roll into drawings on Friday, June 26th, where you could win cash, free play, or one of 3 new Toyota vehicles. It's the $300,000 Big League Series, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Well, if you've been hurt in an accident, boy, it can really flip your world upside down. Greg Matzik here for Gruber Law Offices. If you've been hurt, let Gruber handle the legal aspect while you focus on healing. As one of the largest personal injury firms in the Midwest, they've got what it takes and who it takes to fight your case, and they have been doing it for 40 years. David and his team, family values. It's a family-run business, but 30-plus attorneys ready to go to work for you. And also making a difference in the community. Gruber stands behind a number of wonderful initiatives each and every year. They are locally known and nationally recognized. Check them out online at gruber-law.com. Learn about the firm, how they can assist you if you've been hurt in an accident, and what they do in the community. Make the call if you need. It's 414-276-6666.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margle Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
Well, rain in the forecast, couple of different rounds. It might be drying up a little bit in your area, but rain could be coming back tonight. Some of the storms this evening could touch the severe mark. No warnings or watches in place just yet, but something to monitor throughout the day. High of 60, overnight low 49. Tomorrow's high 62 under partly cloudy skies. It's 49 in Milwaukee at 2:15. Well, it's titled Normal, a lifetime of disabilities, addictions, and diagnosis. It's a deeply personal memoir, and it's written by Matthew Saunders, a 10-year testicular cancer survivor. He's still fighting today, and April is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. But his story is much more than just a raw and honest story about surviving cancer. It's also about grinding through a life that's been shaped by chronic illness and family addiction. Matthew Saunders started cancer treatments about 10 years ago. He joins us this afternoon just minutes after another treatment. Matt joining us on the line. Hi, Matt.
How you doing, Greg?
Good, Matt. It's good to have you on here. So describe the treatment here. This is 10 years now. You're a cancer survivor, and you had this diagnosis 10 years ago, thought maybe you had beat testicular cancer, and then it came back. Yep. What is the latest on you and your condition?
Yeah, so like you said, 2016, I got my first diagnosis. It was stage 3. At that point, I spent that entire calendar year beating that and got to my 5-year cure date in June of 2021 and was excited to be able to spread the news that I was fully cured. And just a month later, I got the news in July of 2021 that I was actually had metastasized and I'm now stage 4. So treatments have gone on ever since at that point. And as you mentioned, I just did a round of treatment today. That was my 60th round since the re-diagnosis in 2021.
At what point did you realize survival had become your full-time job? And how did that change you?
Yeah, I would say, the moment really hit me was in 2021, as I mentioned, when my diagnosis progressed to stage 4. Up until that point, I think following my stage 3 battle, I kept thinking, I could fight my way back to what life used to look like. When it changed, I had to face the reality that there wasn't any going back, right? That old version of normal was gone. So, and honestly, that was a really tough moment, very tough for me. But it was also a turning point because I accepted it. And I stopped chasing my old life and figured out my current life is actually worth living. And the one I had in front of me is what I needed to chase. And, that was something that I had to do, not only for myself, but for my family as well.
You've spun it positive, Matt, and anybody who knows you is certainly as well as I do. And in full disclosure, Matt and I have been friends going back to about 2003, 2004. He's a wonderful human being. And you have had to redefine normal many times now in your life. Exhausting, is that the right word to use? Or has it become the normal for you to redefine that word?
The bad answer is both, right? Yes, it is exhausting. There's no way around that at all. Every time something changes, a new treatment, a setback, a progression, you got to adjust again. And, that really can wear on you mentally. But I think over time I've gotten better at it. At least I like to think I've gotten better at it. And I've learned that normal is something, it's not something that's fixed, right? It's something that you build around your circumstances. Once I stopped fighting that and started accepting it, it became a little less exhausting and a lot more manageable, for sure.
Matt, what does chronic illness do to a marriage behind closed doors that outsiders, unless they have dealt with this, they just don't realize?
It's hard. Marriage in particular, and I think for anybody that does take the time to pick up the book and read it, there's a lot of chapters in there about marriage and my wife and what it has done to not just her, but my entire family. It's extremely difficult because cancer it's not just my diagnosis, right? It's our diagnosis. And I think I have it tough, sitting there and everybody's caring for me and everybody's doing everything they can to make me better. But who's doing that for my wife? Who's doing that for my kids? And I think that's the hardest part for me. I can deal with whatever cancer does to my body, does to my mind from time to time, but it tears me up inside to see what it's doing to my family itself. And it was honestly part of the reason I started writing this book. I don't know that I had no grand plan when I first started writing. It was more therapeutic for me. And I don't know if it started out as like a goodbye letter to them or if it was just something I wanted them to have after I was gone. But then it progressed into something a lot greater than that, right? And it turned into all of the positives that I've found throughout this entire journey, getting that down on paper. And if I can get that in the hands of those that can help people that find themselves in the same situation or that see themselves in any of those pages, that's the reward for me at the end of the day is to, I've gone through the journey. So if I can take the burden off of anybody else, that's the ideal situation. But I'm sorry, I kind of strayed away from your question there a little bit. It's been a quite a struggle for my wife for sure. And I would argue that she's had it 10 times worse than I've had throughout this past decade plus for sure.
Well, and Matt, you have children as well.
But we're strong for sure. I mean, she's an amazing person. Yep.
Well, you have kids as well, and when you had your diagnosis, your kids were younger. I would say middle or high school. But while cancer is your journey today, the title of the book suggests that you've been kind of recreating normal at many times in your life. The title of the book is Normal: A Lifetime of Disabilities, Addictions, and Diagnosis. Diagnosis is last. So, what is it about disabilities and addictions that have fueled who you are and also are part of this book?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up around a lot of challenges. Addiction in my family. I have a brother with Down syndrome. But really, those experiences helped shape me in how I handle things today. At the time, you don't think of those things as preparation. And again, going back, this started. My brother with Down syndrome was a year and 5 days younger than me, right? So this has been my entire life. And then again, later in life, when there was an addiction in the family that gripped us, really kind of tore us apart. You don't think of those things as preparation. You're just living through it. But looking back, it built a level of resilience and perspective that I probably didn't even realize that I had. So when cancer came into the picture, it wasn't my first experience with hardship, as you mentioned, and I think that helped me navigate it. Not perfectly by any means. I certainly not perfectly, but with a little more understanding of how to keep going when things get difficult.
For those who are streaming right now or watching us on YouTube, they might have noticed your shirt. And I'll be honest, Matt, I can't see the whole shirt, but I see the top of it. It says, "I'm dying."
Yeah, there it is. Sorry.
I'm dying, so I started living. I think.
So I started living.
That's a statement. And why would you make the decision to wear a shirt like this? I feel like that's a choice that you make. Why is that?
100%. I shortly before the book came out, I was thinking of, what are ways that I can get the word out? I want people to know my story. I want it to help people. Like I said, shirt like this is an eye catcher for sure. But what I'm trying to say, the basis behind this shirt is that, yes, I am dying. I'm stage 4. There is no cure for stage 4 cancer. I understand that, but I have time. So what am I going to do with that time? stage 4 cancer diagnosis, and make no mistake, cancer takes a lot from you. But what people don't focus on is how much cancer can give you. Being sick, how much it can give you, right? And it's given me a lot. It has forced me to realize that before I had cancer, I was just existing. I was going through the motions. I was worried about work deadlines and answering emails and, stress like that really isn't important. I was just existing. What I wanted to do is I wanted to live, right? And cancer has kind of opened my eyes to that. And it is how I live my life every day right now. I'm living. It's part of the reason I moved down to Florida 3 years ago. 3 years ago today, as a matter of fact, we moved to Florida because I felt like here, 365 days out of the year, I could live. I can go out and I can go do walks. I can go to a nature preserve. Go see things that I haven't seen before. I loved my time in Wisconsin, but here I felt like I had the opportunity to actually live, and that's a key part of the book as well. Is it's not a cancer book by any means, right? It's a story about resiliency and finding those silver linings and getting out and living the life that you have left. Nobody knows when their time's going to come. Everybody has the same outcome, whether we want to think about it or not. Everybody has the same outcome at some point in life. So live your life to the fullest while you have the opportunity, and that's what it's given me. And I wore this shirt specifically because I went to treatment today, and I like to show it off at the hospital, and I get compliments nonstop. I can't walk through the hall without someone stopping me and saying, "Oh, I love your shirt. I love your shirt," because it just it says a lot about the journey I've been on and what I want people to get out of the book.
Matt, you mentioned stage 4 and that there is no cure for testicular cancer at the stage 4 level. So what is your outlook? What do you know?
I know that, in the moment, I can say that I am tumor-free, which is a statement I haven't been able to make in almost 5 years, right? So, which is amazing.
That's
but
great.
what it helps mentally to be able to say those words. But what I do know is that there are still tumors in my body that just haven't presented themselves yet, right? So for me, what it means is I can live in the moment right now. Once those tumors present themselves and they progress, we'll address it at that time. I've done multiple surgeries, multiple procedures to address those tumors as they pop up. But it's just something that'll never go away. But it's also something I've wrapped my brain around a long time ago, and because I had to, right? And staying mentally strong is what helps keep me physically strong. And I approach everything with that same outlook.
April is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. Matt Saunders has been living with testicular cancer for 10 years, but his book, Normal, A Lifetime of Disabilities, Addictions, and Diagnosis, goes far beyond his battle with cancer that he is still battling today. And there's a note of inspiration for anybody in this book. I highly advise you to check it out, as written by a proud UW grad, former manager of the men's basketball team at the University of Wisconsin, always a proud Badger and one of my good friends as well. Matt, I appreciate you sharing your story and doing this, and keep living the way you're living, right? Keep inspiring people to do the same thing. You're doing this entire interview saying, I'm dying, but you got the statement on your shirt and you're doing it with a smile on your face, which I'm sure is not easy for folks.
Yeah, always. If I can make a quick plug before we take off here, the website would give you all the insight into the book itself and my journey, which is btnpublishing.com. And there's also links to find the book on Amazon right from that website.
Awesome. Such an important message.
Appreciate the opportunity to come on, though, and talk.
Thank you, Matt. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your story. It's Matt Saunders here. The book, again, titled Normal, A Lifetime of Disabilities, Addictions, and Diagnosis. It's 2:27.
Trees on the Move, offering ideas for outdoor living and beautifying with landscape consultation, design, and installation, including retaining walls, paved patios, tree trimming, and more. Trees on the Move's been offering landscape services for over 47 years and now offers stamped and colored concrete drives, patios, and sidewalks. Beautify your yard this year with Trees on the Move. TreesOnTheMove.com.
From planning to planting, Trees on the Move.
Horicon Bank is a bank founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business. Greg Matzik here, speaking on behalf of my friends at Horicon Bank and their 5 convenient locations here in southeast Wisconsin. That's right, they're expanding, and they've been doing banking differently since 1896, over 130 years ago. Pretty amazing stuff. How? Well, financing requests with Horicon can be approved in days, not weeks. Your banker at Horicon understands you and your business, where service and products go hand in hand. Top-notch products to meet your cash flow needs. Horicon Bank simply gets the job done. Check out one of their many branches, including the new ones here in New Berlin, Tosa, Menominee Falls, Grafton, and in West Bend. It's Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. And member FDIC.
Every 34 seconds, someone in America dies from heart disease. In that same time, you could be managing your heart health at home with Cardia Mobile, the #1 doctor-recommended personal EKG device that detects atrial fibrillation and other arrhythmias in just 30 seconds. Unlimited readings from anywhere at a surprisingly affordable price. Order now at Cardia, KARDIA.com or Amazon. Because when it comes to your heart, seconds count.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can find the same trusted products you want and need at unbeatable farm and fleet prices? Right now, during our spring footwear event, Skechers are buy one, get one half price. Crocs, clogs, and sandals start at $34.99. Plus, stock up for spring fishing with Rapala lures, jigs, and plastic baits. All buy 3, get 1 free. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, April 27th. Your top story, investigating a street takeover in Bayview.
I'm Jessica Talley, a new service for deaf travelers.
Storms ending eventually tonight, but round 2 of those storms could flare up right around dinner time, maybe a little later. Cloudy at a low of 49. Partly cloudy on Tuesday and a high of 62.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Mike Dubusky. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche is briefing reporters about this weekend's White House Correspondents' Dinner, where a man allegedly armed with guns and knives rushed past security 1 floor up from the event, prompting the president and the cabinet to be evacuated.
Law enforcement did not fail. They did exactly what they are trained to do. This was not an accident. It was the result, as we know now, of preparation. But the men and women who protected us that night were trained, professional, and had an enduring commitment to the rule of law.
Cole Allen, the 31-year-old suspect, was charged with 3 felony counts earlier today, including attempting to assassinate the president. Those charges would carry a life in prison sentence. This is the 3rd assassination attempt that President Trump has faced during his time in office. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Times, 2:31. A developing story. Tens of thousands of We Energy's customers are in the dark following a midday round of rain and wind. The utility indicates nearly 50,000 customers are without power. Most outages occurring in the city of Milwaukee. Several large trees toppled over in the River West neighborhood, damaging homes and vehicles. Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast is coming up.
Another street takeover is under investigation in Milwaukee. This time the takeover happened in the Bayview neighborhood. A group of people and drivers gathered near KK and Lincoln in the early morning hours Sunday. Those drivers zooming around, doing circles right there in the middle of the intersection. Alderwoman Marina Dimitrievich says the takeover lasted about 30 minutes and the group dispersed as soon as police got to the scene. Police confirmed there were also fireworks set off, but they found no evidence of any gunfire. Meanwhile, the Milwaukee Fire Department is also investigating to see if there's any connection to a house fire nearby.
State regulators approve a new We Energy's electric rate for data centers with some major modifications.
Existing Wisconsin customers should not pay a single cent
to subsidize the service of data centers or very large customers.
The Public Service Commission decided that data centers must pay 100% of the costs for new natural gas plants, and they lowered the eligibility threshold for the very large customer rate from 500 megawatts to 100.
This ensures the tariff captures additional smaller VLCs that pose the same level of risk of cost shifting.
Data centers will also be required to sign service agreements for 15 years instead of 10. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee's airport is rolling out a new tool for travelers who are deaf or hard of hearing. The IRA app connects those passengers with a live ASL interpreter on demand. The director of community engagement with ASL tells WTMJ through his interpreter,
we wanted to emphasize that this is not only about providing access for travelers, but also it's an amazing opportunity for deaf people who want to work at the airport. They will have the opportunity to work anywhere. For example, the bookstore behind me. They'll have access to this app, and they would be able to have real-time accessibility within their workplace.
Milwaukee is the first airport in the state to offer the service for free.
And a plane heading to Orlando makes an unexpected stop in Milwaukee after a possible in-flight issue.
Officials say a Delta flight from Minneapolis was diverted to Mitchell International Airport Sunday night after a smoky odor was detected in the cabin. There were over 100 passengers and 6 crew members on board. No one was hurt as the plane landed safely and was met by emergency crews at the gate. Passengers were able to deplane normally. Officials are investigating the cause of the odor. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
A high school basketball team in Madison is being recognized after helping a school community heal from tragedy. The Abundant Life Christian School boys team received the Spirit of Sport Award at the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association's annual meeting. Stephanie Hughes with Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin introduced that award.
In the face of this unimaginable tragedy, the students, coaches, and families of Abundant Life Christian High School showed incredible strength, unity, and faith. They leaned on one another and through athletics found a path toward healing and connection.
The school shooting happened in December of 2024. Just weeks later, the team was back on the court.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:35.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Spring into better vision at Shopko Optical. Vince Vitrano here. All starts with a comprehensive eye exam from a skilled optometrist. Takes a look at your eye health and overall well-being. Need glasses, contacts, maybe both? At Shopko Optical, get expert care and the perfect eyewear for your lifestyle, all in one convenient visit. Locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. I go to the one at Hales Corners. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule your exam. Shopko Optical, partners in your eye care.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
In Heartland, you're going to find a focus on distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original artwork, along with tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. In Pewaukee, the focus is on kitchen, outdoor, and garden decor, and all of it is priced at 25 to 40% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value.
Design Exchange.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ish Nala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ish Nala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars? each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake. Or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Well, the Packers started the NFL draft with 8 selections. They ended up making 6 picks over 3 days. GM Brian Gutekunst trading up into the 6th round to draft a kicker, Trey Smack, out of Florida.
What we did to move up to get him, obviously we think very highly of him. We think he has a very good chance to succeed in this league. But we did it with honors as well, So I mean, it's that's part of this, and we'll kind of see how it goes.
All the rookies, including the undrafted rookie free agents, will be brought to Green Bay in early May for a rookie minicamp. NFL schedule is expected to be revealed sometime in the month of May. Brewers dropped 2 of 3 against the Pirates. They did win the final game of that series with Kyle Harrison striking out 12 on Sunday afternoon in a 5-0 win. The homestand picks up Tuesday night against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic, much better than it was earlier. All of our crashes have now cleared. And side note, one of our fans wrote in and said the crash at Fond du Lac Avenue, this person was about 50 feet behind it when it happened and is saying that the truck hydroplaned. So there was a lot of standing water basically on the outside of the lanes. And this driver hydroplaned, I guess, shot across backwards and ended up hitting a car in the far right-hand lane. So you do have some areas that have some standing water from the rain that we had. We also have downtown Milwaukee that's dealing with some nasty winds quickly here. We kind of thought we made it through the day without any severe weather, and we were concerned about severe weather possibly tonight. It looks like that's not going to be as bad as initially thought, but we still could possibly have some severe weather yet. So just heads up there. But great news as far as the roads. The crashes that we had earlier have since cleared. A couple disabled vehicles out on the system, but those are not causing problems for the most part. And then the only other thing we have is basically, this looks like it's this disabled vehicle. Let me tell you about this one because there is a backup here. I-43 south, the ramp from North Avenue, right shoulder is blocked because of that broken down vehicle. Other than that, the slowdowns are in our construction zones.
Couple of rounds of rain. We're in a bit of a lull, it would appear right now, for most of southeastern Wisconsin, but that's going to change later on tonight. Some of those storms could trigger a severe warning, so be mindful of that if you're out and about this evening. Rain eventually clears out later tonight. Clouds remain at a low of 49. Tomorrow's high 62 under partly cloudy skies. It's 50 and drizzly, we'll call it that, in Milwaukee at 241. Well, quite the scene from over the weekend here. Roughly 2,500 people packed in the Washington Hilton Ballroom for the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It was just after 8:30 Eastern Time that an armed man, identified later as Cole Thomas Allen, attempted to rush past a Secret Service screening. Several gunshots were fired. Allen was subdued and taken into custody, and thankfully, no one was killed. Any physical injuries are considered to be minor. ABC's Stephen Portnoy was inside the ballroom the night of the dinner and thwarted attack. Stephen joins us on the line right now. Stephen, so thankful that you and everybody else is okay. What was the first sign of trouble from your perspective?
We were enjoying our salads at the start of the evening. We had heard from the president of the association, Weijia Jiang of CBS News. The president, the first lady, and the vice president were on the stage. The Marine Band had played the Star-Spangled Banner. We were all just getting underway when all of a sudden at about 8:35, pop, 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 pop. I heard the shots, about 6 shots. And then almost instantaneously, about a dozen Secret Service agents bounded through the doors of the ballroom in the back of the room, made a hard charge toward the head table. And I knew something was terribly wrong. My heart sank, and we all sank under the tables. Instinctively, 2,600 people. There was stunned silence in the room for a period of time. I didn't see it because I was under the table, but at that point, the president, first lady, and the vice president had been escorted off the stage by the counter-assault team of the Secret Service and the president's protective detail. The senior cabinet officials who were there escorted by their own armed security then rose and left the room. And then there was a bit of confusion for a while because there was no one speaking from the podium, no one telling anybody what to do. There was the presumption that there was a threat, but also the assumption that things were relatively safe because the dignitaries had been escorted out. And so then the question becomes, all right, well, what do the rest of us do? And there was some discussion or conversation about perhaps the event going on as scheduled. I left the ballroom at the earliest opportunity to walk the mile length from the Washington Hilton to our ABC News Bureau in Washington to get on the air as quickly as possible. But all of downtown, that part of downtown D.C. was completely shut down to vehicular traffic as a function of the event. And I had no choice but to walk the mile to the Bureau. So it took about 15 minutes or so, got on the air, and reported there through the night as the president made the decision. Ultimately, the decision was made for him that the Secret Service no longer felt that the security posture at the Hilton allowed for him to continue, and for the event to continue on. So the president returned to the White House and had a news conference that night, which had the same reporters who were in the ballroom along with us making their way the mile and a half to the White House. Some people took, city bikes. Other people walked on foot to get to the briefing room to ask the president questions.
I want to go back to that moment where all of a sudden you were under the table. You have covered across this country numerous shootings. But here at this point, you hear the pops, and this is different because you are a part of this. How fearful or were you actually scared at that moment? Because I think at one point when I realized what was happening, I thought, is the target the president? Is the target the media? And I was hearing reports from Wolf Blitzer, and he was right there, and he's stuck in the bathroom. And I'm just thinking, the media is a target, too. What were your thoughts on that, and were you actually scared at that moment?
A couple of thoughts. My initial fear was that someone or someones would have made their way into the ballroom and begun firing. But I knew, as a former president of the association, who organized the event 4 years ago, I knew of the enormity of the law enforcement apparatus around us. There were more good guys with guns in that space than I've been around in my life. I also feared the potential for an explosion. That was what scared me the most. The idea that, well, this could be it. We heard pop, pop, pop. The Secret Service agents are charging toward the front of the room. The president's been taken out. What's next? But those fears subsided, and I turned to my left and my right, and I said, we're okay. We're safe. Because right now, again, there are a large number of very large men with guns all around us. The Secret Service's obligation is to protect the president and the other people that the agency protects. They're not there to protect the media. But on nights like Saturday night, we're all benefiting from their service in protecting the room. There are a lot of good questions that need to be raised about the decision made starting in 1968 to hold this high-profile event in that space.
Sure.
But I should also point out, because there are a lot of armchair experts, some of them professional experts, who look at this and say, well, here's a mistake and there's a mistake. Was it a mistake for the First Lady to have an event in that same room last Thursday? What about the National Prayer Breakfast, which also takes place in that same room, with a large number of dignitaries, including the President and other senior leaders from the Congress and his administration, in that same room in February? Well, maybe. Maybe it's been a mistake all these years, multiple times a year, that the President is in that ballroom. Maybe it'll never have to happen, or maybe it will never be allowed to happen again, that the president attends an event at a hotel in the United States that isn't thoroughly screened by the secrets of days in advance at taxpayer expense. When I travel overseas to cover presidential visits to other countries, and I am staying at the same hotel with the president, I know that I can expect that the U.S. government has taken over that building well in advance, and that I'll have to step through a magnetometer and put my bags, my luggage, through an x-ray machine. Well, that's not how it works in the United States, at any hotel, unless it happens to be one that is hosting the president for an overnight stay. That's not the case for a private event like the White House Correspondents Association dinner. There are lots of questions about, the security. All you do is flash a ticket or flash an invitation. No one was checking ID. Well, that's all true. And it's true for every event the president attends outside the White House that are hosted by private organizations. That's the way it works. And it might be surprising, it might be disheartening, but it's true.
So, Stephen, the president has vowed to reschedule this dinner within 30 days. I appreciate the sentiment in saying we're not going to have this one lone wolf or a bad actor ruin what was supposed to be a fun and great unified sort of night inside that ballroom. I'm wondering from your perspective, is there an appetite among correspondents to try and do this again?
I think it's best phrased as the president's desire that this event be rescheduled. It's not up to him. It's a private organization. And you raise an interesting point. The 2,600 guests who each paid a significant amount of money to attend this event, or their organizations paid on their behalf, will have to decide whether this is worth putting on again. A lot of people come in from out of town for the event. Is it worth them traveling back to Washington? And if not at the Hilton, because again, there's now been a vulnerability identified, having an event with a large 1,100-room hotel above it. If not there, then where? And at what cost? And who pays that cost? You know, these are questions that are beyond any single individual, including the president. And it'll be the association that will decide, with its current leadership and its corporate backing, with the organizations that are represented at the event, whether it's worth putting on.
Stephen, how does this experience change you, number one, as a journalist, and number two, just as a person, as Stephen Portnoy?
Well, look, I mean, I wonder about how this will affect our ability to have mass gatherings, high-profile mass gatherings in the country. And I don't just mean a correspondence dinner. I'm talking about things like the Academy Awards or other kind of large gatherings. You know, we kind of sort of take it for granted in this country that we can have these events safely. Well, look, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, it was interrupted on Saturday night. But one way to look at it is the fact that the security held. The perimeter did hold. The good guys with guns, although they apparently weren't able to fire or shoot the alleged attacker, they did tackle him. He apparently outran the bullets, which is wild. But it wasn't worse, and thank God it wasn't worse. I've spent a lot of time around the Secret Service over the last 25 years that I've been in Washington, D.C., and I've studied how they operate, and I respect what they do and what they bring to bear. But in the long history of that organization and the long history of the American presidency, there are vulnerabilities, and you can look at how the vulnerabilities have taught the agency and taught the presidency and informed how we approach large, high-profile events and hardened targets. And you can no longer drive your vehicle down Pennsylvania Avenue in front of the White House, because in 1995, the Oklahoma City bombing demonstrated the risk that's posed by a car bomb or a truck bomb. You know, we all now undertake a degree of security and screening and scrutiny at the airports because of what happened on 9/11. So we all learn from these things. So we'll all learn from this too.
ABC Stephen Portnoy, still thankful you're okay. Stephen, thank you for joining us today. Great perspective.
Thanks, Stephen.
Remember those old commercials that said, "Hey, you got chocolate in my peanut butter"?
Oh, yeah.
Take that same innovative concept, but replace chocolate with memory foam and peanut butter with Coil Springs. And what do you get?
A weird tasting candy bar?
You get Penny Mustard's exclusive line of double-sided hybrid mattresses.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Just like the perfect mix of chocolate and peanut butter, our double-sided hybrid mattresses combine specialty foam and a supportive coil spring center.
Other mattresses have one or the other, but not both.
The naysayers said, "Nay, you can't create a flippable, breathable, supportive foam mattress."
And we said, "Oh yeah? Watch us."
Penny Mustard's hybrid mattresses are made in Wisconsin and built to last 45% longer than the average unflippable model.
Every mattress is backed by a 1-year comfort guarantee.
And they're 100% chocolate and peanut butter free.
Revolutionary double-sided hybrid mattresses developed by the sleep geniuses at Penny Mustard.
PennyMustard.com.
Siding Unlimited is truly siding and a whole lot more. They had a wonderful open house over the weekend, had a good crowd turnout as well. All sorts of folks with ideas and thoughts and wondering who the experts are and when they can go to work for them. Well, the experts are Siding Unlimited. Best installation teams you're going to find for all manner of products that will protect and beautify your home's exterior. A long list here. It's siding, roofing, doors, windows, you name it. You know what kind of stress the weather can put on your home. You want to have great products that stand up to the weather. You also need a great installation team. Otherwise, you're kind of back to square one. That's what Siding Unlimited understands most. Top-notch installation right here in southeastern Wisconsin. They've got the awards to prove it. They are the best when it comes to installation of those high-quality products. SideAgainLimited.com is where you begin and end your search for any number of ways to beautify and protect your home's exterior.
From large manufacturer to local pizza shop and every business in between, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions. Whatever you're building, you've got this, and Summit Credit Union's got you.
A happy place comes in many colors. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. During our spring sales event, get 10% off any home painting project, $2,500 or more. When you schedule before May 15th at participating locations, get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Well, pretty good rain rolled through downtown Milwaukee. Some damaging winds here. And there's another round of rain coming later on tonight. Hopefully it doesn't trigger anything severe. But we'll be watching here. High of 60, overnight low 49. Should be pretty clear tomorrow with partly cloudy skies officially and a high of 62. It's 49 and rainy in Milwaukee at 2:53. Wrapping up a Monday edition of Wisconsin's Midday News on WTMJ. Thankful to see Jessica and Gina today, as we always are on a Monday or any day for the week. But I'm glad Gina made it in. I thought she was going to have to move out of the state after she discovered a small tick on her over the weekend. Was it this morning, Gina, that you actually discovered the tick on you?
Oh, it was this morning.
Okay, how and where?
I looked down at my arm and I saw it crawling, and I panic flicked it, and I was trying really hard not to flick it on my dog who was with me, but I don't know where it went.
And you are wearing a long sleeve black shirt today, so I'm thankful that you spotted it.
Oh, me too, because imagine if it crawled up in my hair. And I'm hoping it was just the one, but it's still weird that it was there at all.
Do you have just sort of an itching sensation in your hair when you even mention that? Doesn't that happen to people?
Oh, yeah, all day long.
Okay.
All day long.
All right, so to be clear, you were outside, right? This is not inside your place. You were outside, I assume, taking the dog for a walk, or was it not?
Yeah, sidewalk. Wasn't even a walk, just bringing her to the car to bring her to daycare, doggy daycare. And that's when I saw it. So I was outside for maybe 2 seconds. Did it fall from a tree? Did it jump? I don't know.
I'm also very, I think I understand what you mean by panic flick. I think I know what that means.
Yeah, just like, get it off.
We had just discussed last week, okay, it's kind of early in the season to be talking ticks, but they're starting to pop up, and I wasn't jokingly, but I said, Jessica, you probably don't see too many of those downtown, right? I'm sure there's spots, but that is absolutely a big thing out in the burbs where we live.
You do see ticks downtown, and that's what I was mentioning last week, because I know there's this thought of, the ticks are deep out there in the woods, but don't forget that you definitely can see ticks downtown. I mean, there's no doubt. You've got the parks down there, you have grass. There are ticks downtown in downtown Milwaukee, without a doubt. And when we were talking about the ticks last week, I think it was, what was it, just Friday? It was it was Thursday or Friday. New data from the CDC shows weekly emergency room visits for tick bites are higher than usual right now. In fact, they're the highest for this time of the year since 2017, so highest in almost 10 years. This is a trend that's happening across most of the country. Not all the country, but it does include here in the Midwest. And we were also asking Dr. Ben Weston about this because at first I was saying to you guys, it seems kind of strange to go to the ER for a tick bite. It's not where I would think to go initially. But he did make a good point, and he said, well, yes, it's not the best place to go, but in some cases, for some families, it's really the only option that they have.
Well, we are considering starting a GoFundMe for Gina to make sure she can get through the rest of the week. It's just support her coffee habit here the rest of the week. We're glad you made it in, Gina. Always great to see you. It's 2:56. Wisconsin's Midday News Podcast is built by Side Again Limited.
This is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. Your home should be the one place that you feel completely comfortable and safe. But old, drafty windows can steal that feeling.